It's a tale as old as time. A man and his anaconda. All right. So I got to get computer set up. Normal.
Show me that you're live. Show me that you're live. There we go.
Am I live?
You are.
I feel live.
You are live.
It says 0 people are watching.
News feed.
Always has people before.
Yar. Sharing it in the creeper screen.
Pop out chat.
Live.
Jordan! Good to see you on, sir. It's been a while. Michelle Schulte, hello. John C., hello. Stanley S., hello. Ron. Rachel Powell. Kane the Crafter. That's a great name. Mm-hmm. Crafter with a K.
Right.
So you know he's serious.
Serious business.
Kane the Crafter. Joshua Kane. Multiple Kanes this evening. Susan Atai. Ken Zarish. Scuba Steve. Michael J. Lassiter. Chad Smith. Bloody FX Makeup. Hello, it's good to see you again. You were new the other day. It's great to see you on. Warmonger, John Sheffield, Hugo, Cordier, Lette, Gray Hawkins, Billy G, 1001, John C. This is the Home Depot Python. Thank you for asking. It came in the mail today, and I love him. Malcolm McLeod, Nicholas Bintner, Lycup Thor, H. Scott Pohl, hello. You have the most serious name on YouTube. Like, I feel like you are an accountant or a legal advisor of some kind. H. Scott Pohl. That's also a great last name. That's your last name.
Hi,
Tugwork Studio, Knocks on the Moon. James Minnick, Living on the Bluff. Lanny Mask, Jordan Easel. It's based on a famous video game character. Pyramid Head? Question mark. Line Cook Thor. James Kelly, Christopher Lazote, Susie Gardner.
It's her birthday today.
Happy birthday, Susie Gardner. And the Python says happy birthday. And Ezekiel Bradshaw, June Cotel. Thank you very much. I'm glad you liked my work. Big Monkey Fez, Stevenson Metal, Mike Murphy.
Oh, look at Ezekiel.
Damian Cortez, and Realms Will Be Your Nightmare. And I feel like we're good. This is from Home Depot, this guy. Look. Yes, it's early in the cast, but I will show you my Python. And actually, it's an Anaconda. And Stacy is here to read comments.
I'm back.
Yeah. So, there's this piece, which does a this, like a this. And then I'm going to get his middle.
Hey, Realms and Michelle and Thor. And Christopher Lazont and Nicholas Bintner. Hi, guys.
So I will be making things. We get started.
Hi, Susan Atai. Hey, Rue.
It's kind of wonderful because it's plastic, and I just like it. I'd have paid good money for this as a kid, just like as a toy. I always thought, like, man, if they just make big plastic monsters, I would be thrilled. But very few of those.
Hello, John C. David Cortez says, new to prop building, looking to learn all I can.
Isn't that kind of cool? That is the Home Depot Anaconda. I ordered it slightly on a whim. I am hoping that it goes on sale and I can order a few more. I just really like it.
Mom says it's still scary.
Well, I apologize.
You feel like I logged into Bomber Room.
You are. Well, I like to say hello to the first 20 or so people who are on. It means a lot, because we go live, and then I don't know how many live broadcasts you watch, but sometimes those first few minutes they're awful lonely, and it's sad. I'm there watching, and they're like, well, I guess we'll just wait for a few more people before we get started. I don't like that.
Thanks, all two of you.
So, a Snake Mountain playset is a brilliant idea that I had not thought of.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
That would be a wonderful Snake Mountain playset.
Christopher Liza, that is amazing.
You are correct.
Fire says hello.
That is happening. I may end up ordering another just for future Snake Mountain endeavors.
Mike Murphy asks, what does it do?
It does, okay. It does something. I don't know. I haven't put any batteries in it. For me, I'm just happy that it's Big Snake. But there is a battery container in his mouth. I think
Now that you're done
Boy,
trying
if you tried to pick him up by his head, just falls right off. But if you, all right, so his eyes obviously light up because they're like clear plastic. So I'm pretty sure they light up. And there's a battery thing here.
Thor says the eyes light up.
Okay, is that all that happens? Because this is a lot of battery compartment for just the eyes lighting up.
Joe Schulte says Home Depot kind of outdid themselves this year.
Home Depot is like, there was a corporate meeting and they said, you want to own Halloween? Because we could just do that. Sure, let's own Halloween. That'd be great. And then they're doing it. From the skeleton horse to the 12-foot skeleton, which I have mine in the other room. I'm turning him into a cyclops. They're really doing good stuff. I'm very happy that they're investing in Halloween. That makes me happy.
Scott Mahoney says, I love Romper Room. You need the mirror. I don't know what the mirror is.
You are entirely too young for Romper Room.
You're correct.
I remember Romper Room, but I felt like I never enjoyed Romper Room. Everybody in the Romper Room was way too happy to be there, and it took me out.
H. Scott Cole says, learned so much from YouTube Wednesdays.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, sir.
Nicholas Miller says, the Depot is killing it. I've seen a lot of good products this year. Can't wait till next year when everyone can go all out. John C. says, whatever I'm doing, I drop it for this.
Oh, that's so kind. Thank you.
Mike Krasnowski?
Okay, so, all right, it takes me a second, but I can say his name right.
All right.
It is Mike Cherzanowski.
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 Cherzanowski. Yes.
That's because it squirts venomous chocolate.
I would be so down for that.
Venomous chocolate?
Yeah, if it bites you, you're dead. Poisonous chocolate would be terrible, but venomous chocolate I can get behind.
Rue says 4-2.
If I were a dancer, that'd be my stage name. Venomous chocolate.
Jordan says the game is called Dishonored. I'm making a metallic skull mask with a telescopic eyepiece.
Nice. That sounds cool. I actually own the game Dishonored. All right. So, funny Alan's story. I know that I need to do stuff aside from work. I say as I'm about to work in front of you. So I know that I need to do stuff aside from work. However, I don't always like get behind it. So I went out and I bought myself, I think it was a PlayStation 3 when they were new. And at the time, Face Off was on, and Alexa, stop. Face Off was on, and they had some kind of a deal with Dishonored. Their commercials were on. They made a character from it on the show. And I thought, you know what? That game looks cool. I'll go ahead and I'll buy that game and I'll play that game. It is still in the wrapper. I have never played it once. I played through the Deadpool game, but oh, you can make those bigger.
Okay.
And hello everybody who is on. Hi. I have been in the shop kind of all day working on various things. Did I have 2 He-Man arms yesterday? Did I have 2 He-Man forearms, or did I only have 1? Because if I didn't have 2, I have 2 now, and you deserve to see me run around the room with 2 He-Man arms on.
Yes.
And today, earlier, I sculpted from here to here, and this is going to be the shoulder piece that finishes off the arms. So I'm sculpting that. I got to finish this, and then I can finish that werewolf. So you'll get to see the werewolf be finished tonight, and we're going to sculpt. Once we get this won't be a long sculpt. Once we get this started molded, it'll be a fast mold. Then I'll go to werewolf.
June Cotel says my birthday is 2 days before Halloween.
Awesome.
Ezekiel says Romper Room sucked. They never called my name. John C says on Romper Room they never said my name through Magic Mirror. Damien Cortez says I just did my first 3 corpses from watching your video.
Oh, that's awesome. How did they turn out? Were you happy with them?
Like Cherzanowski says your wife got it. I guess she pronounced his name correctly.
Yes. Okay. So now answering comments is Stacy, just in case. Stacy is not my wife. My wife is in the other room.
Hashtag not wife.
Yes. So often it's my wife who reads comments. I can't keep up for so many reasons. So I have a helper read comments to me because I do want to stay engaged. I forget where I was going with that even.
Right.
But Stacy If she said your name right, then that's awesome.
Regular Handsome says, don't let John C. hold your baby whenever Alan's about to go live.
Yeah, it'll drop that baby and watch the live video.
The Harry Beastie says, hi Alan, good to see you back. Stacey, what's the big snake for?
Hello, Scotland. So the big snake, I thought it was cool. I had hopes that it would be really cool, and it turns out that it's really cool. It's $40. It's a nice big prop. The odds of it getting stolen out of your yard, I would say pretty high. Put it somewhere in control. I think what I would do is I might paint it to look like it's concrete. And then if you put it outside, people might not try to steal it because they'll think it's heavy.
Billy G says, love to face off. John C says you can add the second snake's middle to the first one.
That's why I want to buy more, so I just have middles, and then I'm going to put a Loch Ness Monster in the Monster Museum. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Hello, Ross Richard. Thank you for welcoming me back.
Hello. Didn't say hi to me. Let's see how it
He said hello,
what am I, chopped liver?
And welcome back, Stacey. Realm says, how would you make a great stuffed spider egg sack look cooler than spray paint and fake cobwebs in various spots?
Now, who asked that?
Realms.
Read it one more time.
How would you make a great stuffed spider egg sack look cooler than spray paint and fake cobwebs in various spots?
Well, if you can cobweb it with a hot glue gun, that's what we do. I mean, we make the egg sack, and then we put it in a bag made out of the not Monterey Mills, Trenton Mills. The Trenton Mills cobweb material, which is called beef netting. You make a bag out of beef netting, you do 2 layers of that, you rip one up, and then you do some cobwebs over it, then you paint it with the airbrush, and then you cover it with the cobwebs from a web gun, like a thermo webbing gun, hot glue gun webs, which you don't need anything fancy. You can take a hair dryer and a hot glue gun and shoot webs. So there you go.
Hello, Rachel Powell. Michael Halloween says hi. Line Thor says, will the arms work for whiplash?
Yes. These are Masters of the Universe arms. That's exactly what they're for.
Did you show them both?
I haven't, no.
That was what
I
we were
didn't
doing. We
know.
got distracted.
Did someone say that they wanted to see it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ron Sheps, let's see it.
I'm putting my arms on it right there. They're only my lower arms. I'm a little insecure.
Nicholas Bentner says, oh man, He-Man and my wolf in the same video.
That's right. Well, okay,
John
so
C
not
says, or you can
He-Man.
just work out like crazy.
These won't ever be used for He-Man. These are going to be used for villains. These are like villain-only arms. And you have to kind of keep, like, your mind going that, these aren't painted or anything. They're not painted. They're not set up. Rah, look at these guns. These are lower guns, but still. They're not full guns.
John C says, or you can just work out like crazy. Nah.
I don't have time for that. Like, who has time for that? But look at those forearm muscles. And you foam in this a little bit just so it's not rattling around. All of these costumes will end in like a bracer anyway. And you change the bracer out for the different characters. But every He-Man character has the same arms anyhow. So, and then we have this piece done. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And the first bicep is poured up right now.
Yes. Reptile Cosplay says, I'm playing a mad scientist this year at my haunt, and I'm used to playing creatures. Do you have any advice on how to act like a mad scientist?
Yes, let me tell you that you have started the hard stuff. Okay, to me, creatures are kind of the easy stuff. It's physically more difficult, but you always know what to do because you're a monster and you're a little more animalistic. And people are kind of harder, and talking is a little bit harder. Engage. Get good at something called Patron Triggers. Okay, what Patron Triggers are is be able to talk about what they're wearing, be able to talk about something on the patron that engages you, that you can make fun of, interact with, It could be something they're wearing, it could be their eye color, it could be what their shirt says. There's so many different things that you can engage with the customer a little bit, and that personalizes the show a little. Never make fun of anything that they can't change in 2 weeks. That means that you can make fun of their hair, no problem, because they can go get a haircut and change their hair in 2 weeks. They can't lose weight within 2 weeks. Like, you're not going to see any progress. Trust me. I'm an expert. So that's something you would not want to make fun of. And I think dialogue is what elevates the more human characters. So speak, be heard, you know. There's a bit of a loss that happens when you're a character who doesn't really talk. So just be chatty. I think that's perfectly fine. And I think you'll get comfortable with it in time.
Chad Smith says, got my pinata in today, hope to paint tomorrow.
Cool.
Damien Cortez talking about his corpse skeletons. I'm ecstatic with them, had them laying out in the backyard, and a little kid called the cops thinking they were real.
Hooray, that's the best.
Patrick Redding says, how's it feel to be back, Stacy? Feels good. Gray says, we need to make you a shirt that says hashtag not life. Jordan Ezel says, do you think that you could make a sword modeled after a butterfly knife? Just get some pre-tempered bar stock for the blade, a wooden dowel, and some pins. Will you please try to make it for me?
Jordan, you have done some great work. I really like some of the costumes and things that you come up with. I'm now on the sheet ghost train. But that's a terrible idea. Like, when people are learning to use a butterfly knife, they cut the snot out of themselves all the time. So I think just the injuries for a butterfly sword would just be way worse. Yeah, I'm going to say that's a bad idea, and no, I will not help you make it. And if you live in the state of New York or California, no one can even mail it to you. It always said that when I was like, I used to get Ninja magazine, and they couldn't mail anything to New York or California. Yeah. And they can't send nunchucks or brass knuckles to Alabama. Because apparently they can't be trusted.
Ezekiel says, if you find more snakes, go buy extra. There's no snakes in Australia.
Hooray!
Michelle Schultz said, had the cops coming by, slowing down, checking out my cages and the Reaper. It was great.
That's awesome.
Rue asked, did I ever show you photos of the Loch Ness Monster we built and put in the lake up in Washington?
No, you didn't. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that as well. June says, Halloween is my absolute favorite holiday. Can you please do a fairy? That would be cool.
Hold on. You think fairies are Halloween? You're right, they are. So, yeah. It's possible that I could do something fairy related. I almost did fairy wings, and maybe I will at some point in time. Because I have a way that I like to make them.
Yeah. Realm says, in regards to his spider egg sack, I did do hot.
Okay, cool. Then it's going to be paint, and it's going to be light. That's the way to make it cooler.
Mike Murphy says, did you say that snake was only $40?
It was $40. It was $39.99. And, you know, I made a post about the 12-foot skeleton and just how remarkable it is. And I said it was $3.99. I was wrong. It was $2.99. Boy, was I corrected. Because I was on the internet.
Larry Hughes says, good evening.
Hey, Larry.
Warmonger says, Popeye arms.
Yes, currently they're Popeye arms.
Mark Bienvenu says, hi, guys. Mindtrap Creations, Shannon needs a poster of this. I mentioned it was interesting, but we're a little bit behind. Michelle Schulte says, I can't wait to see all these come together. John C says, Popeye pops. Sublime ST says, hi Alan, how long do you think it took the Loctite foam, or how long do you think the Loctite foam mask will last? And is it okay to leave in the heat or an actor's sweat? Thank you, love your videos.
Yes and yes, as far as heat and sweat. And how long will it last? We have one that we've used in the asylum 2 seasons, an off-season show. It gets worn almost every show. So we have one in Dark Hour that has lasted for years. So they hold up well. I mean, it's a dense foam. It's not like great stuff. It's more dense than great stuff. And if you're pushing on it and shaping it, you're actually making it more dense. So, yeah.
Tutwork Studios says,
Tutwork Studio.
Did you see the documentary on Netflix about how Masters of the Universe was created? Really interesting.
Yes, I have. I have seen that.
AFG says, been watching some of your old videos. Do you still use the witch cabinet?
It's in Dark Hour, yes. If you go through Dark Hour Haunted House, you'll see the witch cabinet that I made in the video. And it's actually a little bit obvious because there's a camera in it, and it's the most obvious camera in the show, right before the cage room. Yes, shortly after the greenhouse.
Susan Ty says, we can't even get moonshine in New York. And
Yeah.
Michael Astor says, I can vouch for the Alabama thing. Jordan says, it would be a blunt aluminum ruler, and I live in Louisiana, for his sword.
Jordan, I'm not helping you make a butterfly sword. I just think that's a bad idea. You have good ideas. That is a bad idea.
John C. says, the queue line greeter can impress everybody in line before they even enter the haunted house. Always a great actor with tons of confidence and improbabilities.
Yeah. Or not, and if not, that's pretty evident. But they certainly have the chance.
Realms says, I seen a sheet ghost mask at Spirit and I said they copied you. Theirs was too cute. Reptile Cosplay says, thanks, Alan. Been thinking about a name for my character. Now I think we'll call him Alan or Dr. Stiltbeast with your blessing.
Dr. Stiltbeast. Okay.
Bloody FX Makeup says the snakes in California are $80.
They're $80? Yeah, this guy was not $80. I was very surprised at how inexpensive he was.
Joanne Crowley says, hello there. Is that Stacy?
That is Stacy.
It's me. Christopher Lalotte says, in traditional folklore, fairies are not cute and nice creatures.
Oh, no. Fairies are... We were driving the other day and we saw a toadstool ring. We saw a fairy ring.
Nice.
So, yeah. No, they're not.
You're using your giant scraper for that.
Well, it was right there. Yeah, the fairies are not nice. They're not nice.
Ron Sheps says, wife and I watched Howl today. Very good movie, and the werewolves looked great.
Yeah, I like them. They're very interesting. They're almost a little Bigfooty. They have a very different face than I'm used to on Werewolf. Again, kind of like Howling 5, The Freaks, reminiscent of that.
Lisa Gordon Arns says good evening, and B Brown 0518 says good evening.
Hello.
Choji says hello all. Haven't missed much, have I?
No, right now I'm making what looks like a mushroom, and I'm not panning it down because I have it sitting on a little stem, and I might get inappropriate comments.
I was going to say,
so I'm leaving it.
I'd rather not say what it looks like.
I'm leaving it just this much exposed to stay kind on the YouTubes.
Horror Beauty says, yay, monster stuff. Hey, Alan Creepers.
Hello, Horror Beauty. Good to see you on.
June says, can you do any Disney villains?
I guess I could, but I mean, no, I can't. No, I don't want to.
Ellis Fire says the snakes are $80 in Oklahoma as well.
They're 80. Okay, I don't think I paid $80.
Maybe you had a coupon?
It's possible.
Jason Agostini says, hey Alan, it's Stacy.
Well, I said 40, so maybe I paid half price.
Maybe.
Why did I pay half price? I don't know.
Sean Davies says, I've been using metal mesh as a base for paper mache mask for years, and your foam mask is my new go-to. It's so much better, lighter, and super strong once cured. Thank you.
Isn't that awesome? Like that, making masks out of that is such... Oh man, you should have warned me before. This is your fault.
I'm so sorry.
I'm blaming you. You've been gone for a while, and now it's your fault.
Fair enough.
And just for that, for not telling me my notifications were on, you have to tell a story.
Well, hi. If you're brand new, hi, I'm Stacy. I do most of the sewing here when I'm here. I just recuperated from some serious business surgery, and I am back in the shop. My very first sewing project back was some werewolf cowl that's going on the werewolf with the glass eyes that that he just was working on last night, and I guess we'll continue working on today. And yeah, I'm also getting into the sculpting stuff, and I've been a guest sculptor once. So hello.
If you found us through COVID,
yes,
then that was Stacy's fault.
That's my fault.
She's the one who overpromised and made us deliver.
Overpromised.
So there you go.
Thank you. Bloody FX sent us a $2 check.
Woohoo!
We'll be here all week.
That will keep me in code zeros.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'll pan down a little, but don't make fun of the shroom top, okay?
Tutwork Studio says, what's your guess on weight for 12-foot skeletons from Home Depot?
Oh, maybe 130 pounds total, everything? Maybe? Tops? No, the box was 90 pounds. The box was 90 pounds. Because on the box it said, team lift 90 pounds. And I said, ha, ha, ha! And I pushed him with my tractor.
Jason Agostini says, what are we making tonight, kids?
Okay, so don't guess. Don't guess based off of your images. What we are actually making is we are making, this is going to be a shoulder muscle. And it's going to be one shoulder muscle that will work for either arm.
Thor says that is not a mushroom. Susan the Tie says looks like a duck.
Yes, this is definitely a duck.
Nicholas Bentner said had a long conversation with my writers/producers about whether or not our wolf will be bipedal.
Oh, okay.
Horror Beauty says tentacle gate has been bumped, but mushroom gate.
Yeah.
Bumped by mushroom gate. Hello, Alan and Stacy. How are you guys?
We don't talk about the tentacle video. Okay.
Choji says I found drywall stilts like you said. They were $118, but are they of good quality at that cost?
Probably not. I'm sorry to tell you. To get a good quality stilt, you're probably going to spend about $250 or more. Now, I don't know what you weigh. I, being the gingerly man that I am, at right just under 300 pounds at this point in my life, I won't get on any stilts except for dual pole aluminum stilts, because I want them to live, and I want me to live. So it's possible that they're fine for you. If you weigh 130 pounds, then you have more options, more safe options.
Reptile Cosplay says, I'm also curious on what the QT cups are. I guess there's a gas station where you guys are from?
Yeah, QT is Quick Trip. It's a gas station, and I don't go there every day. I just save the cups, and I like to drink out of a big plastic cup. It makes me happy. I don't know why.
Jordan says, Alan, I train extensively with machetes, and I have used butterflies before. Are you just afraid of convincing the police it's a real blade from an unlicensed blacksmith?
Do you see?
Seriously.
Do you see this scar on my arm? That is actually from a machete. For me and a friend who were machete fighting in the woods.
Like you do.
And I still swear by I won. Because like this was a bad cut. There was meat hanging out of my arm. Packed it back in. Put mud on it. Was good to go.
Ezekiel says, I'm having trouble finding flocking fluff stuff. Do you have a web address you got yours from?
Flocking Biz. Flocking Biz. I don't know their web right off the bat. If you want to message me, I can send you a link.
Thor says, hi, not wife.
Or you can ask me on Creepers. That would also be fine.
Hi, Bloodhound says, welcome back, Stacy. Patrick Reddick says, it's Stacy. Sean Davies says, glad to see you better.
It is Stacy.
Nicholas Bender says, thank you for sewing my wolf, Stacy. You're welcome.
Yeah, she did. She sewed that hood up today.
Michelle Schulte says, you make fantastic headdresses. Thank you.
She does make fantastic headdresses.
Rachel Powell says, it's a duck.
Yes, it's a duck.
Moon Girl says, oh fudge, I'm late. Had to rewind to see the snake, and it's awesome. Hope you all have a good day.
Hooray!
Horror Beauty says, the snake is great.
That's a good steak.
Draco666 says, hi all from down under.
Hello.
Our Aussie contingent is showing
Yeah,
up
we
in
have
full
a
today.
large Aussie contingent today.
Christopher Lazat says, it's Twinkie from the Buck Rogers TV series.
That's your. I would say that looks a little right. I mean,
Warmonger says that's a duck's shoulder muscle.
that's right.
Tarantula says, is the quote-unquote mushroom going to have 3 sections like the snake?
No. This is it's a shoulder muscle, and I know it doesn't look like one right now. And sadly, when it's done, it's going to look like a pair of underwear, and then I'm going to mold it.
Rob O'Brien says, hello creepers and welcome back, Stacey. Thank you so much. Horror Beauty says, good stilts for Chucky, 170 pounds. Choji says, my poor college wallet, and nah, I'm above 200.
Okay. Okay. I hate doing this. Go to stiltbeaststudios.com and look at the kind of stilts that I sell. Stiltbeaststudios.com on stilts. They're dual pole shore stilts. They're very comfortable as far as stilts go, and they're stable. I walk on them on a fairly regular basis.
Bloody FX Makeup says, you should make a cut right down the top of the shoulder so it has some battle scars.
Well, no, because then every single one would have the exact same cut. If I do that, then I will do that on the piece, not on the sculpt.
Oh, Brian says you're making a mushroom duck hat.
It's going to be a shoulder, okay? I swear, trust me.
Rue Newman says, if you won, what did he look like in your machete fight?
I got him pretty good, yeah. I was told later that he broke his collarbone.
Oh, no.
Yeah, when he fell out of that tree.
Moving right along. Realm says, could you do a bit on how to make cool little horns?
Yeah, I could. Sure, if you wish. You gotta find the ones, though, that are solid without the hole in the middle. Works way better.
Moon Girl says you can find drywall stilts on eBay for a decent price, around $150 last I checked.
It depends on, but this is a certain type, okay? Sure stilt, dual pole is what I recommend. I don't recommend other stilts. You don't have to buy them from me. You can find them on eBay, too.
Ezekiel says, flocking.biz, thank you.
Yes, that's it.
KBFX says, oh my gosh, pretty good. What's cooking? Good looking. Just got done molding. We'll be watching this while I demold and clean.
Hooray! What'd you mold? Now you can't tell me because your fingers are covered in plastic.
Reptile Cosplay says, it looks more like a WW2 helmet.
It does look a little bit like that.
Regularly Handsome says, is this sober, Stacy, or 10 milligrams, Stacy? Welcome back, Stacy. Late joke, but it just hit me. Because you're getting sober, Stacy, tonight.
For a while.
For the moment. Leonard Cook says, I heard you make a lot of masks for the haunted house, but do you take part in the haunting by using your own masks?
Of course. Yes, I do. I play a wolf man quite a bit of the time.
Choji says, despite the plug, I trust you. Horror Beauty says, thank you, Alan. Was just worrying about them holding my weight. Regularly Handsome says, I should have explained that better. Stacey's been out for medical reasons lately for anyone new. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not normally
She's just on pills all the time.
all the
She
dang
can't be
time.
contained.
Rue Newman says, I 100% endorse your stilts as a guy who has spent hours in them. Horror Beauty says, shroom shoulder pads. Ezekiel says, what's a good length of flocking for werewolves, etc.?
So I like 1/4 of an inch or more. So there's only a couple places, but flocking.biz has it. 1/4 of an inch, which I think is 8 millimeter, if I remember correctly.
Jason Agostini says, having trouble finding the USB molding plaster. All I could find at Home Depot was plaster of Paris. Gonna tackle your phone head and plastic bin plaster mold.
Yes, okay, so you can use plaster of Paris for that. If it doesn't set up, just chuck that piece off and start over. This plaster of Paris will stick to itself.
Patrick Reddick says, gotta go for now. I'll pop back in after work. Hi, Patrick. Warmonger says, Alan hates advertising his own products on his own site, on his own show.
I do. I don't, that's not why I'm here, you know? That's not why I'm here. But there is a reason why I do things the way I do, and there is a reason why I sell what I sell.
KBFX says, molded a skull half mask. Can't recall if I shared with the live group. It's for zombie sock masks. Well, make sure you go check, because we want to see it. Realm says, how long do you have to wait to demold?
Normally, you should wait for the plaster to heat up and then cool down.
Thank you, Michael Lassiter, for the link. Tarantula says, I came close to smiling. Thank you. I'm going to go. Gray says, this pill's messed her up. She never knew what day it was. Thanks, Gray. Throw me right to that bus. Ezekiel says, oh, you are a legend. Thanks, Mr. Hops. Flocking sorted.
Hooray.
Bloody FX Makeup says, please repaint the snake.
Yeah, that's on my list of things to do.
Realm says, okay, and how long to put latex in it?
Oh, well, I made a mold earlier today. I cleaned it out, and then I went and I poured latex in it. You can wait a day, but you don't have to.
Dark Nook says, just got here, so are we making a Koopa?
Well, in a way, this will be a shoulder, and right now, I'm making one shoulder for 2. So, I didn't have to put one of these in, and I think I like this side better. So I'm gonna sell myself on this side. And now I have to fix this that I carved in. Because this shoulder, all right, see this cut? not this one, technically it's going to be this cut, is going to sit right up here on the shoulder. Well, it's going to be a right and a left. So I need to have a little bit of a hang down on the other side in order for that to meld in with the bicep. And this is the one that's going to go away.
KBFX says, do you know the recipe for Pax paint?
Yes, it is acrylic paint and Crozade. That is pretty much the whole recipe.
Is it a 1-to-1?
You can add a little bit of water if you want to thin it, but most people brush it on.
Is it 1-to-1?
It's not 1-to-1, it's enough. I go 1-to-1. What will it hurt? And use low tack or no tack Crozade.
Bravo Brian says, oh, I like your Loch Ness Monster there in the back.
That is the Anaconda from Home Depot.
Joanne said also, I love the sneaker in the background. Thank you, Bloody FX. Supposed to be 1 part acrylic, 1 part no tack Crozade recipe. Good
Yep,
curve.
there you go. That's it.
Ezekiel says, my son asked, is it Darth Vader's helmet?
Only if Darth Vader were a wee baby.
Lisa asked, what was the name of that werewolf movie you recommended? Bad Moon?
Bad Moon. Yeah, I like that one with Michael Pare.
Choji asked, where's a good place to look for makeup for costumes?
Friends Beauty Supply is good, but makeup for costumes. You mean makeup for makeup? I use airbrush makeup most of the time. This year, I especially recommend it. European Body Art is whose makeup I normally use. So there you go.
Rugged the Handsome says, I'm just going to keep my trap shut about what it looks like.
Yep, yeah, do that. Definitely be on the quiet side.
Enigma says, I got the notification 40 minutes late. Come on, YouTube.
Have I been on for 40 minutes?
Well, Rachel Powell says that Anaconda don't want none.
That's right. Does not.
KBFX says, thank you.
I checked.
Jason Agostini says, you should tackle Meg Mucklebones. That would be a killer sculpt. Love to see your take on that.
I've done that a couple times, actually. I've done Meg twice.
There is, I think you did her live. It wasn't exactly Meg, but it was that tall-shouldered witch.
Yeah.
That was live last year? 2 years ago? No, it ain't been 3
It was
years
Facebook
ago.
Live.
Facebook Live.
So it was 3 years ago.
Oh my.
Yes. Did you watch that?
I did.
You are a nerd.
You're correct. Joji says, ooh, I'll check it out. Dark Nook says, so it's a symmetrical, reversible pauldron?
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yes, it is. But it's going to look like muscles.
Reptile Cosplay says, I'm sorry, someone's got to do it. Stacy's mom has got it going on. Is she still on the feed? It's her birthday, y'all.
Yeah.
So she does, in fact, have it going on because it's her birthday.
Yeah, so this will blend down like on the bicep part, and then this will be cut out on both sides to go over right here, and then the rest of this will be wonderful shoulders and happiness.
Bloody FX says, no, not friends, bad people, can't confirm. What?
They're bad people.
Mm.
Well, they sell a lot of makeup online.
Yeah.
That is where I buy my transfer paper for silicone prosthetics.
When you were going Facebook Live, was that on the Stilt Beast page or was that on your personal page?
Normally it was Hunter's Hangout
Okay,
through my
alright.
personal page.
A couple of people saying that you need to go find that video. The KBFX says if you jump on top of that, you go row 3 times the size. Hello, Skin and Bones. Says, hey everyone. Dark Nook says, most people do not know the suit actor in Meg Mucklebones was the actor who was the holographic doctor on Star Trek Voyager.
Robert Piccardino.
That's right.
We are not the most of people.
Raven's Wrath says, scene. I don't know what that means. Moon Girl says, ooh, I need to find that witch video. Enigma says, I had a meeting with a 3D resin printer designer and we're going to make roller textures for sale. Can Alan and all the other creepers give me ideas of what type of textures should be for sale?
Who just said that?
Enigma.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I mean, just some basic skin textures are nice.
You got to show them that tool, because that, have you demonstrated that one live?
Not yet, no.
That one's a cool tool. Rob O'Brien says, so why aren't you doing this at an EVA film?
Because I want the durability and the speed of latex.
Ezekiel says, you're going to be a buff wolf man?
This will be on my Beastman costume, but for now, the story is this is for another order. I'm doing a repair on a costume that I made, and they put it through the ringer.
Bloody FX Makeup says alternative to Friends. Amy's, Nigel's, FX Warehouse. Nigel's
Yes,
especially.
Nigel's is good. FX Warehouse is good. Yes.
Nicholas Bentner says, Alan, do you like Star Trek?
Do I like Star Trek? It's okay. I watched a lot of the Next Generation because my mom watched it. I'm not generally a sci-fi guy. I am more of a horror fantasy guy.
Halloween Kieran says, can you make a mask out of The Thing 1978?
I have, and yes.
Raven's Wrath says, what's the best werewolf application you've ever seen?
Okay, so you said werewolf application as if it were a makeup. If you're talking about a makeup, then I would probably go with the new Wolfman, which was Rick Baker. Benicio del Toro. They did a lot of CG stuff, but the werewolf stuff that they did was really nice.
Jason Agostini says, Alan, what kind of floral paint do you use and where can I find it?
I use Design Master spray paint. That's what I use, and I order it online now.
Kanzarash says, gonna go low, low, low. Wolfman hit the flow, flow, flow. Dark Nook says, sculpting mechanical symmetry is one of my weakest areas.
Yeah, and this isn't gonna, luckily this is organic, so I have some room to play. It's also gonna be latex, so it's gonna have some squash to it, some squish. And I will foam these out. And I can always glue the foam lining in a certain way to look the way I want.
Reptile Cosplay says, please make a turtle monster at some point.
So hold on. I had two people just ask me about things. It's like y'all don't know me at all. Someone asked.
I think Ravens, or not Ravens, I think the Reptile Cosplay is maybe relatively new.
Someone asked about the
Thing.
The Thing. So this is a The Thing inspired mask. It's not painted, but you can see some tongues and a sweet earworm. I'll be painting this on Wednesday night on my live feed, Wednesday night. So.
Halloween Kieran asks, where can I buy your mask from?
StiltBeStudios.com. My wife would be so mad if she saw me pause like that. And hold on for a turtle. Because, yeah, that's how it rolls.
Nicholas Bentner says, noticed you had American Werewolf in Paris on the screen last night. CGI wolves in that are rough. Liked the Wolfman remake though. Yeah, we finished watching it today and it was rough. Turtle, turtle. KBFX has just posted some BTS on a music video I did. Got to do prosthetic makeup for Hellraiser, Jason, Freddy, and transfers for a Chucky makeup, as well as 7 denture fittings.
Awesome. I love transfers.
Enigma says, good to have you back, Stacy. Thank you. Glad to be back. Raven's Wrath said, ever made a pumpkin head or a spin on it? If not, I would love to see that and buy it.
The pumpkin head, I've made a head that is a pumpkin. I have made a couple pumpkin heads in my life, like the monster pumpkin head. I have not done one in a long time.
June Cotel says, that's an awesome mask.
Thank you. I don't know which one you meant, so I'm just going to say thank you.
James Irish says, Taka. James Kelly says, wow, great mask. Rich Powell says, Alan is turtle enough for the Turtle Club. June Cotel says, I love the turtle.
Hooray! Thank you.
Dark Duck says, I sculpted the official Cylon mask for Rubies, and it was a challenge to get all the edges and lines symmetrical.
Yes, yeah. That really is a hard thing to do.
Katasia says, I wanted to say thank you so very much for the information on how to connect pool noodles and how to fill in a mask with Loctite. My yard wish has finally stopped falling apart every time I move her.
That's great. That's a success story I like to hear.
Horror Beauty says, transfers are great. Love that. Chidi Deos says, hi, host. Welcome, watching from the Philippines.
Hooray! Awesome.
Nicholas Bentner says, your turtle makes me think of David Lynch's Ninja Turtles.
Okay. Yeah, I actually just use, I think, mostly alligator snapping turtles for reference.
Reptile Cosplay says, just saw the turtle blank on your website. I'd love to get one and make my own turtle monster.
Turtle it up.
Well, you're in luck. They
Turtle
are
power.
real affordable. Chad Smith says the turtle mask would make a good Skeksis from Dark Crystal.
It's possible. Yeah, you work out the back of the head a little bit different. Let's see how this is going to look.
Dark Look says Gamera.
Gamera is really neat. Gamera's full of turtle meat.
Gamera! Joshua Kane says, reminds me of the Boogans.
Boogans.
Carolina Keeley Creation says, I saw the snaky in the screenshot and had to tune in. I love that thing.
Yeah, it's a good, good thing. It's from Home Depot. It is their Anaconda.
Thank you, Michael Lassiter.
I very much like it.
He said, all I can find is you painting the Meg mask, and that's on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably pretty deep in the Facebook Live.
Yeah, and why I stopped doing Facebook Live is they're so hard to search for because you can't like really name them, so they're hard to search.
John C says, do not make stilts out of pool noodles.
No.
Body Effect says, agreed from experience.
I would also say nay.
Nay.
I used to make still feet out of pool noodles.
Choji says, sad day when you try to make a Facebook account with a new email and it's automatically disabled. Man, you may need to try and
is the FBI watching you? Like what's going on?
Get a VPN or something.
They're on to you, buddy. They're on to you.
They have your IP address flagged as fraudulent. Tony's Animation says, I hate turtles.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
John C. says, Alan, did you know that snapping turtles are the only food that comes with its own bowl?
Yes. One of the reasons why Galapagos turtles are close to extinct. They could just put them on the boat and they would just suffer down there for years.
Yikes. Choji says, all I did was not use my real name.
How dare you? Okay. Now I'm going to start rounding these off to make them more muscle-like. And now we'll start seeing some organics. And I do not have actual anatomy on this, but I assure you, the Masters of the Universe toys were not concerned with actual anatomy.
Choji says, well, at least there's the channel.
Hooray!
That's true. Nicholas Bender says, how would you hate turtles? Carolina Kiwi Grace says, I like turtles.
I like
Jimmy
turtles.
Deo says, I love turtles.
I like snapping turtles, like more than anything else. But I would say, like, I'm generally a fan of turtles.
Nicholas Bender says, are you using the toys as reference?
I have some, yes.
Ezekiel says, I've been watching Mountain Monsters with my son. I really want a Bigfoot costume now. This show is atrocious.
I got a good Bigfoot costume on my website, Ezekiel. In my opinion, I think it's good.
June asks, what are you working on right now?
These are shoulder muscles. These are going to be shoulder muscles for, and it doesn't look like that right now. I know. I'm starting, and I also have to make it symmetrical, so it's both shoulders.
Mysterion says, hello again from the UK.
Hey, good to see you on again.
Sat here with a nice cup of tea, enjoying watching you sculpt. Most relaxing.
Awesome. Watch somebody else group sculpture.
Jerry Collins says, hi, Alan and Stacy and Shannon.
Shannon's in the other room. I think she's still in the other room. She's working on packing up some orders and getting things, doing other business. And I think she's getting some posts ready. This weekend we have a big weekend full of We have 2 labs. We have an airbrush lab on Sunday and a mask lab on Saturday, where people come in and they're going to finish off their own masks. They're already sculpted, they're already molded, they'll be blacked out. What was that noise?
That was realizing what the I Hate Turtles thing was from.
What's that from?
It's the kid, there was a kid wearing zombie.
He said, I like turtles.
I like turtles.
He said, I like turtles.
That was what it was.
Little zombie kid.
Yeah, little zombie kid. Victor Sleep says, with proper seasoning, turtles are great. Reptile Cosplay says, shout out to my pet turtle, COVID. John C says, yeah, the kid that had zombie makeup on when he said it. Tina Kuziak says, do you think that Home Depot snake could sit in water? Was thinking of making into sea monsters for my dad's pirate display.
Yes.
Raven's Wrath says, I would like to see what you could do with a Baphomet creation.
It's plastic. You're a month late.
Yeah. 3-eyed goat.
Yeah,
friend.
go to stilpystudios.com and look up 3-eyed goat. It's Baphomet enough for all of your Baphomet needs.
Nicholas Binder says, Alan's Bigfoot is awesome and cheap for a great looking costume.
Yeah, gonna make a cheap Bigfoot movie.
Enigma says, can't you just cast one and flip it instead of making 2?
To what?
Shoulder muscle
That's-
pieces.
That's what I'm doing. I said that. Yeah. That's why I have to make this kind of symmetrical, because I am only making one.
Tony's Animation says, I hate turtles because they're chewy and get stuck in your teeth.
Yeah.
Carolina Kiwi Gracious says, I wonder how long it will take to paint the Cornholio mask
Cornholio?
from Monster Camp.
Oh, well, he did it in a couple hours. I mean, it's a pretty easy paint job. Dry brush and then a rub out, alcohol rub out.
Warmonger says, when I was a kid, we had He-Man, Rocky, G.I. Joe, Arnold Schwarzenegger. It seemed every little boy wanted to be a He-Man. Kids today worry me.
It's a different attitude for sure. Like, you know, I think that we would have got beat up for wearing skinny jeans, you know? And I think that's okay. It worked for our generation and our thinking. I think that the next generation is just going to think differently than us. And they're going to have different priorities than us. And that's okay, because they're going to have a whole different set of problems than we have. They'll have some of the same, and I think that's probably where your concern and worry is coming from, in that, you know, who's going to build their houses and fix their cars, because there's less of that as a priority. But hopefully there's enough.
Chideo says, my son likes turtles. Barbie says, looks like a princess poof, Snow White shoulder. This improvement from the clearing throat start.
Yeah, from the other thing it might have resembled at one point in time.
Raven's Wrath says, you got it. I'm going to check out the 3-eyed goat. Horror Beauty says, 3-eyed goat is great. Ken Zara says, gator turtle named Snapback would be a beast.
Snapback.
Mysterion says, have you made yourself an Immortal Joe style COVID mask yet? Or Immortan Joe?
No, I actually haven't made any of the PPE masks. I set out to do it, and then I'm not happy with their ventilation. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's very hard to make a mask that covers an N95 mask and have enough adequate ventilation, especially for all the running around that I know we do as haunted house actors. And that was just such a concern of mine. I'm looking at the flow, how to keep everything half an inch off of it. And I even started a few designs, and I was just running it in my head, and I didn't like it. So there's other ways to go, and I think that's how I'm going to end up doing it.
Jason Agostini says, if anyone lives near an Ollie's discount store, you may want to check them out. I found the Loctite spray foam for $2.99 a can.
Yeah, that's awesome. We didn't have any in our Mesquite store.
Christopher Lazat says, Wookiee meat is chewy. Reptile Cosplay says, Power Rangers were cool too. Zika says, I saw a 3-eyed goat mask the other day. The middle eye was vertical.
Yeah, that's a common alteration.
John C says, the name Cornstalker is already taken by some prop maker.
Correct.
Raven's Wrath says, wow. Need more details. What is wow? Carolina Kiwi Creations says, the difference between our generation and today's generation is we walked off most of our owies. Today's kids have to point at a doll and tell people where the bad words hurt them.
I don't know. I mean, it's just different. It's okay. And I'm not going to get political, and I'm not going to beat up a whole generation of people. I think there's some good ones and some bad ones. So there you go.
Nicholas Vintner says, I know a woman who paints three-eyed goat paintings for a living. Send her a picture of yours.
Wow, she paints three-eyed goat paintings for a living. That's awesome.
Mysterion says, we use a cage cut out from a milk container to support the fabric masks so you don't feel like you're being waterboarded. A bit above the handle, below the handle, off the handle, off the handle, a bit off the handle.
Yeah, I got you.
Raven's Rest says, I'm buying that goat.
Okay.
Sweet. I'm looking forward to making
Yeah,
another goat.
it's a big mask. It's a real fun one to make.
Shoji says, I adore classical music and would love to integrate it into something scare related, but I have no idea how to execute it. Any tips?
Okay, so what kind of imagery does classical music evoke? To me, that's going to be a more of a gothic romantic type of haunted attraction. So that's something that I would do. The LA Hayride, when I went to it a few years back, I think 2012, they actually had someone playing a baby grand piano in their queue. It was a white piano, he was in a white tux, and he had on a skull mask.
Nice.
And he was just playing the piano. It was wonderful. It was very classy. Yeah.
I like it.
So, yo.
Ezekiel says, picked up my plastic barrels yesterday. We were making cages. They look so awesome.
Awesome. I'm glad. A lot of folks are making those cages.
Nicholas Vintner says, Beethoven, Beethoven, Beethoven.
You know, I bet there's creepier music out there than Beethoven. Although, you know, something horrific happening while Moonlight Sonata plays is going to be pretty awesome.
Shoji says, Vivaldi, Vivaldi, Vivaldi.
Yeah, I think.
Manuel Criado says, I salute you. Good job and keep creating.
Hey, thank you. This is a little ribbony right now. I think that it's obviously too ribbony, but that's why we're rounding. We're rounding.
We're walking, we're booking.
And I'm going to have to elevate it because I have to mold this free and clear. So this has to go up a little bit higher. But I can get this sculpt more finished before I do that.
Shoji asks, what do you think of Deborah's design from MK11?
Whose?
Devora, D-E-V-O-R-A-H.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's cool. I like it. I mean, it's not stellar or super new in my opinion, but I've definitely seen similar.
Nicholas Bender says, dang, didn't mean to sleep on Vivaldi.
Who's Flight of the Bumblebee? Is that Tchaikovsky?
Maybe.
It's a nice aggressive. But yeah, I mean, sometimes I'll let music influence design, and it's just a matter of, you know, what you're playing and then what notes is that kind of show gonna hit. But the very classical score from Hammer Films, I think, kind of comes to the forefront of my head. It's a little more shoulder muscly.
Nikolai Rimsky-Korskov did Bumblebee.
Okay.
Says Chuchi. Mysterion says, when you gauge the clay you're using, do you mentally remove some? When I sculpt things, they come out under scale due to removal of the material.
I tend to put a lot on. I put on way more than I need, and then I pull it away. I do mostly subtractive sculpting. I do some additive, but I do mostly subtractive sculpting.
Reptile Cosplay says, would you ever do a Megadeth mask of Vic?
If I needed the money, yes. I don't like to do a lot of right now. You could get a decent one from Trick or Treat Studios. I think they make a Megadeth mask of Vic. Someone out there makes a licensed Vic mask. So, you know, I'm not thrilled about doing something that someone else has a license on. They paid to be able to do it. They paid for the privilege. And, yeah.
Know Your Joe says, saving my nickels and dimes so I can attend a monster camp.
Come on.
Ezekiel says, check out Gustav Holst for music.
Yeah.
Jody says, I love Holst. Mysterion says, Jupiter for the win.
I don't know what that means.
Jupiter.
Okay, now you can see a lot of that flat. It's almost looking like a pumpkin right now.
Yeah, it does look like
It's a little too pumpkin-y. So I think I'm going to start melding together a little bit. Very pull this. There's three big shoulder muscles. I thought they were too big when I did that originally. Do I want to split this, or do I just want to merge? I'm going to semi-merge these two. I'll leave this guy where he's at. I can't angle them, and the shoulder muscles have a slight angle. If I angle them, then it would read right, not read right or left.
I think it's the music piece. Mysterion says they used it in Conan in the Feast with the Snake Dude. That I guess is the music. Jupiter.
Oh, okay.
Dark Nook says, reminds me of the dragon armor in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
A bit, yes. I have that. A masked
Actually,
version of that.
that's not
somewhere
far off from what you're trying to do.
there. Yeah, because that looks like musculature.
John C says the deltoid muscles means triangle.
Yeah. Yeah, and see that tucks down to that triangle right over the bicep. Hey, wife. Boy, I hope that's my wife.
Oh,
Oh,
she brought pie.
my wife brought me pie.
And
I think she also brought Stacy pie,
Yay!
which I consider a treasonous act.
Stacy needs pie. Listen, it's cash or pie.
Okay, I'm finished with the packing. I'm now working on the mask lab stuff.
Hooray! Thanks, wife.
But I'm watching.
Thank you, Shannon.
You're welcome. Enjoy.
Johnson says hello, Shannon. Edson Juice says that's one strange looking duck.
Yes. All the good ducks are.
Thor says pie. Mysterion says apple.
Apple pie.
Apple
Yeah.
pie.
My wife made an apple pie that looked like it should have been on the cover of a magazine.
Mm-hmm.
It was ridiculously good looking.
Nicholas Bender says pie is a fair price. It's true. Rue Newman says cake or death. Tea and cake or death.
Who knew they'd all pick cake?
Well, we didn't know there was going to be such a rush. John C says Shannon Allen wants a scoop or three of vanilla on that.
I do. Actually, she made banana ice cream too.
Oh my god.
And
That's the second course of dessert.
that's ridiculously good.
Ezekiel says apparently I have to come to Texas for Shannon's apple pie.
We will. Well, I don't know. She might bring it to Trans World.
Mysterion says I have the privilege of having a wife that also makes pie. And they're very good. The pies, I mean.
Yes. Well, a wife who makes pie is also good.
Yeah. Warmonger says the dogs are like, where's our pie?
Yeah. Get you one of those.
Cat Swift says hello to the wife. And it's so nice to hear Stacy is there. Hope you're feeling good, not doing too much too soon. I'm doing my best. I did a dumb thing today and picked up a big box full of dog food.
Yeah, that was dumb. Okay, this is feeling a little better.
Choji says, oh my gosh, they have Dead by Daylight masks.
Trick or Treat, man, they buy up licenses like crazy.
Nicholas Bender says, banana ice cream? I've never dreamed of such a thing.
Oh yeah, well it's my favorite kind of ice cream,
It's really good.
and it makes the best banana splits. You just put maraschino cherries in it, crushed pineapple,
Oh my god.
a little bit of chocolate syrup, and it's done. Whipped cream if you desire.
John C says, Shannon, I sent a box of cash. You sent a box of pie.
Yeah, you said that last time.
Reptile Cosplay says, would be awesome to meet y'all at Trans World.
I'm there. Come on.
Provided it exists, we will be there.
Cheney, I know you're looking for my pie. You guys can just see a nose sticking up over the table. That's my dog Cheney.
John C says, banana ice cream has appeal.
Oh,
Nicholas Bender says, oh my god.
Yeah. You're in timeout. That was terrible.
Ezekiel says, homemade banana ice cream. Wife direct flights to Texas before Halloween? Choji asks, what's Transworld?
Transworld is a trade show where haunted attractions go shopping. Basically, all of the haunted attractions all over the country and kind of the world come to St. Louis, Minnesota. Normally in the spring. St. Louis, Missouri. The other end state. St. Louis, Missouri. And I have a booth there, so I sell costumes and masks, and there are other people there. I mean, there's like 300 booths. It's ridiculous. And now there's Christmas stuff too, so you know, that's a whole other element to it.
Reptile Cosplay says your dog was drinking from the toilet.
Yeah, that's how they roll. I don't mind.
Mysterion says, I saw a recipe with banana foam candy, banana whipped dessert, and condensed milk. Cooked in a pan, and it came out as banana fudge.
Well, okay.
Philip Earl says, howdy, Alan.
Hey, Phil Pearl. What's up, man?
H. Scott Cole says, pie and monsters, nothing better.
That's right.
Darkner says, doggo poking nose up over the edge of the table like a shark fin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He does, too.
Choji says, dang, wish I could go to Transworld.
It's a lot of fun. It is kind of for businesses only, so you have to have an invite or at least proofs of credentials.
That was the question, Jason Agassi. Can anyone go to Transworld?
But as a vendor, I have the opportunity to give people invites. So if Transworld is coming up and you'd like to attend, just let me know. This.
Nicholas Bittner asked, do you have a molded torso for these arm pieces?
Yes, we do. And we might even pull one out tonight. Now the torso is reptilian. I have a regular torso over there. I have a reptilian torso we're going to pull out of the mold later tonight.
John C. says, the fumes are talking. Mr. Jimmy FX says, do you believe we'll have a 2021 Transworld?
Yes. I think that the world is ready to try, you know? That's where that needs to be.
Manuel says, I see you have a drink with a straw with you all the time. When I'm in my studio, I have mine with me. So what's your poison? Mine's Dr. Pepper.
Mine is Coke Zero. And it's literal poison, I'm aware. I drink too much soda. Right now, this is, I have a Monster Energy because I was a little pooky earlier and I needed more consciousness. I needed 30% more consciousness, please.
Warmonger says, Distortion's Christmas stuff is creepier than their Halloween stuff.
Well, it is creepy.
Philip Earl says, really? Do you mean in terms of the Transworld invites?
Yeah, what was that really for?
Al Matra says, I'm late. Hello, everyone.
What's up, Al?
Jerry and I. Is that a Nessie in the back?
It's the Anaconda from Home Depot.
Joji says, maybe once the COVID thing blows over. And on the MK tangent, who do you think has the most creative design?
Well, I mean, I think that's an easy answer simply because of how often it's been copied. The design that they did for Sub-Zero and Scorpion, granted it's a classic ninja look with some slight variations, but they've used it over and over and over again. So of all of them, I would say Baraka has some of the best design, and I like his head shape. He's got a lot of good stuff going on, Baraka.
Mr. Young says, what do you cover your sculpts with, like overnight to keep them from drying out?
Normally just a garbage bag. And I actually, normally I'll put future floor wax or something similar on my sculptures. And now it kind of makes it into like super wet or something. It's just nice.
1980 says, this is the shoulder piece?
This is the shoulder piece.
Enigma asks, is there any happy horror characters, like happy to kill or deranged, almost like the Joker?
I'm sure there are. I mean, the Scream guys were pretty thrilled about what they were doing.
Lots of clowns.
I don't know. I see, and I don't deal in that. Like I don't deal in people. I don't like people killing people. I don't like in real life. I don't mind it so much. But probably shouldn't have said that. But for movies, I like supernatural. I want monsters. I want creatures. I don't want something I can read about on CNN. You know, that's not awesome. I would rather have something that is supernatural in nature. That's how I like my horror movies.
Phil Burl says, Transworld sounds like a blast. Do you need a booth monkey intern?
I'm actually fairly full, but I appreciate it. If you want to go, just let me know.
Tutward says, Mountain Dew here. You're poison.
Yeah.
John C. says, March 4th through 7th, 2021. Space those some Transworld dates.
Huh.
Early March.
I put this off center. Yeah. 2 weeks sooner. This is off center. Is it off center from the other side? No. I don't think that's off center from the other side. So that means that this muscle is a little off center from the other side.
Jason Agostini says, what are your thoughts on cordless glue guns?
They're okay for short. They suck. Don't get them. Get a real glue gun. Like, get a real glue gun. If you want to be happy hot gluing things, don't buy glue sticks from Hobby Lobby. Buy real hot glue sticks and get a real hot glue gun. It's going to be an investment of about $150, but it makes the biggest difference in your work. I go cheap a lot, but I won't go cheap on a glue gun. I'm now off of my soapbox.
The Haunt Dermits say hello, everyone.
Hello, Haunt Dermits.
Joanne Crowley says, how much did you pay for the Anaconda?
I distinctly recall paying $40 for the Anaconda, but everybody is telling me that it's $80. So I might be wrong.
Misty Jazerski says,
Or I got it for half off.
Nicholas Bittner says, I once did an art installation of dozens of white plaster Coke bottles, all different shapes and sizes. Needless to say, I gained some weight to getting all my molds together.
Not bad.
Jerry Collins says, amen to that, Alan. Dark Nook says, little known fact, Jason Voorhees is smiling over the hockey mask
That's right.
the time.
He's thrilled. It's like, this is awesome. Best day ever.
Joshua Kane says, Cannibal Campout had happy killers. Tony's Animation says, if you could work on any film, past or present, which one?
I don't want to work on film. Like, there's no movie where I'm like, oh man, I wish I was there. I'm not a film guy. I don't like doing film work. I don't have fun. Like, I never left a film set and said, man, this was a great day. No, it sucked, and some of the people sucked, and the conditions were bad. And if my stuff was ready, then the sound guy wasn't ready. And if everybody else was ready, that means something just went wrong with what I was supposed to be doing. And it's just not as fun as haunted houses to me. So I'm gonna, The Princess Bride.
There you go.
I would like to play a screaming eel, please.
Reptile Cosplay has asked, do you ever listen to horror punk bands like Misfits or Blitzkid?
Okay, I don't actually listen to a lot of music. I know that's ridiculous. I listen to the same song once a day, and that's. I mean, I don't listen to a lot of music. I make stuff. That is my art of choice. I watch horror movies in here while I'm working. Again, I prefer a supernatural element, but yes.
Good night, Greg. She doesn't have to go do homework now, so it'll fail out of high school.
Yeah, or else she'll end up like me.
Rhiannon says, new sub, totally dig.
Hi.
Welcome. Glad
Hello.
you're here with us.
Yes, exactly.
Edson Juice says, really? 161 people watching and only 61 likes?
Well, that's enough.
Y'all
That's
smash
good.
that like button.
That's like almost half, right?
English major, I was probably
Yeah,
some
I don't know.
Mr. I says, for Mortal Kombat 2, Baraka's head was a Halloween mask with wooden fangs that Richard Divizio wore.
Okay.
Mysterion says, ever been tempted to do a Sasquatch? Not just the mask, the full suit.
StillPeaceStudios.com. You will see my full Sasquatch suit. Yes. Yes, I have been tempted. Yes, I answered the call. And that is the third Sasquatch costume that I've offered for sale, like on a repeating basis. and probably the 5th or 6th that I have made for individual buyers.
The Haunt Dermot says, I see this is a shoulder piece. What costume is it for?
You can tell it's a shoulder. I'm winning. Okay. This is going to be part of my Masters of the Universe arms. I've got arms that I'm making for them. So it's going to be for a lot of different costumes. This first one is going to go on a gator that actually goes to Gatorland in Texas, in Florida. I'm getting states wrong tonight.
You are.
I need more Monster Energy drink.
Ezekiel says, $79, free delivery, no in-store is what I'm seeing for the snake. Michelle Schulte says, yep, 80 here in good old Illinois.
Yeah, I got it for 40. I don't know why.
Paul Bennett says it's 55 degrees where he is.
Wow. Great.
Look at the camera and tell him great.
Wow. Great. Cool. Comfortable. Happy.
Susan Mattias says it's 80 here in New York. Rob O'Brien says, so much hurry up and wait on films. Dark Duck says, set work is so much lamer than everyone imagines.
Oh, it's terrible. I hate it.
Chucky and Leprechaun are happy to kill with snarky dialogue, says 1980. Horror Beauty says, give me screaming eels. Great find, Alan. Philip Earl says, so working in the swamp on Hatchet was not fun?
I didn't work on Hatchet. And I bet not.
Nicholas,
They don't stop mosquitoes. Like, you can't turn them off with a switch.
Nicholas Bentner says, as a guy who's passionate is making cheapo horror movies, I can say that making movies sucks most of the time.
Yeah.
1969 Mom says, just want to say thanks for showing me projects. I start tomorrow with my 11-year-old grandson. First project, graveyard statue, Grim Reaper style. Hell yeah.
That's great.
Anaconda is selling for $79.99 on Home Depot sites. Christopher was not. JLR says, I never thought the shoe polish would work for my apothecary jars. They're looking good. Manuel says, it's beautiful when a man can work together with his wife on a project. Good job to you both. Hashtag not wife.
Well, this is not my wife, but I do work together with my wife all the time.
It's true.
Yeah.
And she is awesome. Horror Beauty says, any ideas how to make a turkey costume creepy with blood?
Who asked that?
Horror Beauty.
First of all, a 6-foot-tall turkey is just going to be creepy all by itself. You don't have to do anything. You don't even need any blood. But if blood and feathers always looks awesome. I don't know why. It's like blood and snow. It always looks good. So any little bit of blood could be really cool.
Victor Sleep says, I'm waiting for Alan to break out the song before I hit the like button.
Oh, I see. Well, you know what? There's not a lot of shoulder songs, so
It's true.
yeah, I need triggers. They don't just happen, you know.
Reptile Cosplay says, what if you just molded the middle of the Anaconda instead of buying more of them?
That'd be theft. If I mold that snake, then I am stealing from them. Whatever artist did that work in order to make that. Someone sculpted that, probably digitally. They probably digitally sculpted it and then did some rapid prototyping and then molded that. But that's someone's artwork, so I don't want to steal from them. And frankly, each one I mold and pull would probably cost me $80 or more anyway. You know, I mean, a mold that big is going to be expensive. Even if I did have a stone and latex, and a latex one wouldn't hold up, so I'd have to make a silicone mold, and then I am $500 in to steal an $80 snake part.
Kimlin Bell says, I just stumbled across your channel. Totally subscribing.
Hooray! Thank you.
Welcome, Kimlin.
One of the things that home haunters kind of jokingly say about themselves is, you know, why buy it from Spirit for $50 when you can spend $120 and make it yourself? Sometimes they're expensive. You know, the materials are expensive. If you're going, my rule is 5. If I need 5 of something, then I'll make a mold. But I would resculpt it. I wouldn't just steal theirs. I would resculpt it and make one myself.
Tutwork says, in my opinion, there's nothing like a live show. High energy.
Hooray! And I hear a lot from people who are like, I can't watch your live because there's too much going on. You know, they want a nice paced video.
Levi Heinhold says, made a couple of the hanging cages for 55-gallon barrels. Thanks for showing me how. Learning a lot from you. Enjoying making my own props.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear it. Thank you. Very cool. What part of the country are you in?
Ezekiel says, better to work on epoxy horror movies than doing garage and roller door commercials.
Yes. I suppose. You do need garage doors, though.
Horror Beauty says she meant without blood for the turkey.
Oh, yeah, I think just making the turkey, but when you do the head sculpt, change it up so it's a little more angular, you know, as opposed to, turkeys are kind of round and bulbous. When it comes to the head, you have this great tail and body shape that's going to throw focus on the head. When it gets to that head, you know, do that hard brow. Don't worry about being anatomically correct for a turkey, in my opinion. I would go with a angry fantasy turkey, give him the hard brow, yeah, and I can, you know, sharpen that beak a little bit and give it a bit more of a hook, so he's a little bit velociraptor-y.
Susan Atai says Stacy equals work wife. I feel like I'm more like work little sister. Like.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't feel right about the whole work wife. It sounds like something bad's going on, you know? I don't like that work husband, work
Listen,
wife.
Shannon could kick my ass, so like.
And will shoot you. She won't bother to. She'll just shoot you.
Also, very happily married. Thank you.
Yeah. We're both very happily married separately.
It's true. Not to each other. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, they're telling Kimlin Bell about the Facebook page. It's a Facebook group. Who else is modding tonight? Can someone else drop a link in there? I don't have my laptop.
No one. You're on your own.
I'm on my own. I'm sorry. Say it under my breath. Body Geek says, greetings from a rest area somewhere in Florida.
Hooray? Question mark?
Taylor Payne.
Wash your hands.
Taylor Payne says, hey Alan, good evening. Incredible work, man. Just found your page last night. I'm hooked.
Hey, thank you.
How do I message you privately?
Stiltbeaststudios@gmail.com.
John C says, with a turkey costume, you are the stuffing. Ken Zara, okay, now we're catching up to the where you should sing. Ken Zara says, Johnny Cash, boy named Sue. Misty Giserski says you can sing head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
Yeah.
Mike says, Hydrocal 30, does Home Depot sell it?
No, they do not. Sadly, no. Most of these materials are specialty materials, and you'll need to go to a ceramic supply store. Home Depot will not have what we want. It'll be a ceramic supply store.
Dark Nook says, real set story, shooting a scene in a cabin during a rainstorm, but the rain machine broke, so I had to take a bottle of water and throw handfuls of water at the window.
Yeah, that sounds like movie stuff.
Jason Agostini says, put your head on my shoulder. Come on, Alan, sing.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Hold me in your arms now, baby.
That's all the words I know. Yeah.
Finn Godwolf says, hello, folks. Welcome back, Stacey Hawkins. Thank you.
Yeah.
Glad to be back.
You missed it, Finn. I had on your turtle mask earlier. That is one that he has purchased, so it'll be headed towards him.
1980 says, 6-foot turkey carving a roasted human with potatoes and carrots on a platter would be pretty creepy. Edson Juice says, sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy.
There's more shoulder songs than I thought.
Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. Levi says he is in Essex, Iowa, doing the couple of painting cages.
Cool, that's so awesome.
B. Brown says, what's the best blood recipe for outside, long-lasting?
Okay, so my favorite blood recipe, if you want it outside for props, is DevCon 5-minute epoxy, and you mix that with food coloring, actually, and that gives you a really nice blood.
Philip Earl says, good clarification, happily married to someone else. Yes.
Yeah.
Horror Beauty says, do you think the wing tutorial would work for a turkey tail? I'm not 6 foot, but would a 5-foot turkey be just as creepy?
Yes. Birds are creepy, you know. I worked at Gatorland, and I was never creeped out by the gators. I was creeped out by the emu because they growled like velociraptors, and it was a bird that was my size. And like that convinced me, okay, yes, those are descended from dinosaurs, without doubt. Like there's still dinosaur in them. And I think a 5-foot turkey would do the trick. And yes, I think that would work for the tail feathers, for the tail setup.
Thank you, Shannon Hops, for sharing the link to the Facebook.
Shannon Hops, she's so hot.
I know. Mr. I says, speaking about poultry, have you seen Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead?
I have not. No.
That's a
because I like myself.
That's a trauma film,
Trauma,
right?
yeah.
Ezekiel says, Body Geeks hope George Michael isn't on the radio. Gumby Dragon says, hey, I wanted to say thank you for tutorials, and I'm currently painting the first mask I casted. Still excited to see that beholder.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, yeah, the big beholder. Yes, I'm making that for the Monster Museum. It's happening. It's happening. It's a matter of time.
Celeste Kitty says, good evening, Clems.
Hello, Celeste Kitty.
Taylor Payne says, will do, man. Thank you. Like I said last night, I found your channel. I think I watched like 6+ hours of your work. Truly amazing.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
The Born Maker says, what's your workshop AC setup? Fellow Texas maker down the road in Austin.
Right now, I have 2 air conditioners, one in each window over here. Just this room is air conditioned. The rest of my shop is not air conditioned. I will be getting a Mr. Cool for in here, probably this spring coming up, and then I'll move one of these air conditioners into the other room because I have an issue with my laser overheating a little bit in the middle of summer, and it's in the other room.
Victor Sleep says, now I will click the like button. Thanks for the tune. Taylor Payne says, hey, I'm emailing you now. Thank you.
Cool.
Reptile Cosplay says, let's just turn every holiday into Halloween.
Halloween is, I believe, the best holiday.
That's right. Rhonda Cowley says, new here. I've been watching your videos all day. Love it all.
Awesome. I'm so glad to hear.
Welcome, Rhonda.
My channel is a little bit weird simply because my weekly videos almost have nothing to do with mask making. A lot of the time, they don't have anything to do with mask making. But my nights, when I'm working in the shop, the lives, it's mostly mask making. So, you know, there's a bit of a dichotomy there. Maybe you're into mask making and you like the lives. Maybe you are into just making props or things for your home haunt or a pro haunt. Then maybe you'll like the weekly videos more.
Maybe you just want to hang out with a bunch of nerds.
Right. And then you might like the lives.
Super Toria says, if you worked at Gatorland, do you still live in Central Florida? I'm in Orlando.
No, I lived in Florida from 95 until just after 2000. So 2001, I guess.
Reptile Cosplay says, starting to look like a duck.
It is starting to look like a duck. I know it's working.
Robert White says, hey, Alan, saw the Krampus movie on Saturday night. Bad looking Krampus, but loved the ending of the movie.
Okay, so you know what? I don't think that they actually got to do what they wanted with the Krampus. If you look at his head, you can kind of tell it's like a skinned Santa head. Like it's Santa's face over a different face. And I think, and he has the goat eyes, but there were 2 sets of eyelids. So I really think that they didn't get to show what that real Krampus looked like.
Phil Burrell says, it was crazy, and like you said, trauma production for Poultrygeist.
Brahm wrote a very good book called Krampus. Brahm, the artist, he wrote a very good book called Krampus, and to me that felt very right. Krampus, his description.
Celeste Kitty says, you think Eeyore are scary? Have you seen Cassowary going against zookeepers?
No, there were no cassowary there. Our scary thing for the keeper was the Cuban crocodiles, who are jumpers, and they will go after your hand.
Like jerks.
Yeah.
Taylor Payne says, quick question, do you do commission pieces?
I do, yeah, all the time.
Body Geek says, actually, with Apple CarPlay, YouTube plays on the radio, so Alan's playing now.
That's awesome.
Tutwork Studios says, we have 2 emus down my street. I had them one day, they escaped. The friends of Harrison had a lot of content, 2 days to catch them.
That's great.
Cat Swift says, my workshop's roof is metal. Often when I'm super focused, a stupid bird will run across it and scare the crap out of me.
Yeah, so one of the worst jump scares that I got was I was in Orlando. It was like 4 a.m. and I'm reading ghost stories online because I was doing research for a project, and I'm reading ghost stories, and 4 a.m. like the world is asleep, and I'm like deep in, this is back, a black background, and they were red text. So, I'm kind of focused on that. At this point in the day, I've got eye strains. I've been doing it forever. And there's this wham on my door right as I get to a newspaper delivery guy. And he would just throw from downstairs.
Florida, born and raised in New Smyrna Beach, Florida.
Awesome. That's a good beach, New Smyrna.
Kurt Matthias says hello all.
Hey, Kurt.
Will Carrot says, hey, hashtag creepers.
Hey, Will. It's been a while.
Joji says hello to everybody.
Maybe it has been who was on, sadly.
Rue Newman says, I love that book, The Promise.
Yeah, it's a good book.
Joshua Kane says, Broad and the Magic Room. Limelight Dim says, I love that Krampus movie and that little detail I'll have to look for. That makes it more awesome.
All right. So what? How many else is
Pixelated
saying?
Feed, lag, video wavy, yeah.
Well, maybe. But it looks good on our end.
Foxy, Foxy, the pirate, says, damn, son. Nicholas Bender says, I also like the Krampus movie, closest thing to a modern Gremlins. Pops on the Tube says, what's your go-to bass lure? Have you ever made your own?
Whopper Plopper is my go-to bass lure. A Whopper Plopper from River to Sea.
Uh-oh. Lots of pixelating problems, refresh not helping.
I'm sorry.
Is it just me or is it pixelating? Thor's just keep cutting it out.
Right now it looks fine to me.
Supertorious, this video is choppy, it's choppy, ditto, went completely out, restarted, not helping. It must be on our end.
I don't know what to
I don't
say.
know what we can do. We're not having weather, but
It could be that a bird landed on my antenna,
it's
you know,
entirely possible.
because they block it.
Still blurry, very blurry. Maybe you could tap your screen. I don't know.
No, I would see blurry here if it were here.
Taylor Payne says, hey, you have a phone number on your contact information for your page. Can I text that number for a commission piece?
I would rather email because it's easier to track.
Ruh-roh. Pixels, yep, choppy. Mine is blurring, but I don't care.
Yep. I think it might be a little piece that we can ride through, hopefully.
Fingers crossed, y'all.
Yeah.
Rich Powell says, thought it was just me. Y'all let us know.
Okay, I'm going to make a decision that I need more of this shoulder.
Philip Merle says, just ordered the Brahm Krampus paperback.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. Good book.
Reptile Cosplay says, do you ever just add the Poplik monster or Mothman to the museum, the Monster Museum, or as costumes?
Okay, so I've made plenty of Mothman costumes. I can show a picture of that on the Creepers page. I would probably not add them to the Monster Museum because the Monster Museum that I have is at a Renaissance festival, and Mothman did not exist, well, in the Renaissance time period.
All right, we're back to normal.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the bird landed and flew off. Truly.
Taylor Payne says, okay, I understand. Thank you again. Looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you for everything.
Yeah, it's real nice to email is so nice and trackable, and text messages sometimes are not. And just people tend to type less on a text message, and I always find myself wanting as much information as possible when I am doing a commission for someone. I just did a Cujo. I did a Cujo recently. I have a werewolf I'll be working on here shortly, which mostly what I have to do on that is hair work, so I think he'll get done tonight. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 8:51 p.m.
Yeah, it's 9. Yeah, I think he'll be done with it.
Horror Beauty says, when was the first Mothman sighting?
Well, it was all tied into that bridge. I think it was West Virginia. Pardon me, I'm in Texas now. All those northern states kind of blend together. All those tiny little states up there. It was 70s.
Victor Sleep says, time for another bite of pie, Alan.
Really, really is. You are correct.
We're picture perfect now. Cat Swift says, seems like someone just fed the YouTube squirrels.
Hooray.
Larry Hughes says, Cujo is amazing.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Glad you like him. That's who got Cujo.
Masato K says, hey everyone, hope y'all are good.
Hello, Masato.
Masato!
Hope things are going well for you.
Crazy a-hole with a hammer says, hello, Alan.
Hello. That's a great name.
Yeah. Edson Juice says, we ever show off how to chop up and modify different types of mannequins?
No, but I do have a series on making a foam mannequin of your own. I don't do a ton of mannequin modification.
Masato K says, is that Stacy? It is!
It is
It's
Stacy.
me. He says, I'm good, I hope you are too. Yes, you're well. Yeah, I hope we get to do the that body form thing. There was a couple of different ones that popped up on the on costume stuff, and none of them are exactly the way that we would do it.
Yeah.
Things were in point play.
Virginia.
Masato says, yay, hope you're feeling all right, Stacy. Yep, doing much better. Taylor Payne says, email sent.
Great.
Limelight Jim says, Stacy, welcome back. Hi. Glad to be here. Joan Crowley says, the Silver Bridge collapse. I think it was West Virginia. Yep, 1966, November 12th. First Mothman. Super Toria says, what you sculpting, Alan?
This is actually it's a shoulder. Okay, it's a shoulder that is going to be used on multiple costumes, and it's also left and right. So it's got to be fairly symmetrical. Now it's organic, so I have some leeway with that, but it's going to be left and right.
Ruggedly Handsome says, Alan sculpting a giant clove of garlic. Masato says, is that a duck?
It's a duck. Definitely a duck.
Horror Beauty says, that was not too long ago. I thought it was earlier. R.E. Mothman.
Nope. Nope. Mothman was,
Fairly recent.
yes. That's like Chupacabra. He didn't exist until the 50s.
Shell Schultz says, good night, creepers. Alan and Stacy, early appointment in the morning. Thank
Good
you,
night.
Alan, for
Thanks.
all that you do.
Thanks for hanging out.
Good night, Michelle. Dying to see those pictures.
Oh yeah.
Taylor Payne says he's inquiring for a commission. I think I said that.
Yes.
Crazy A-Hill with a Hammer says, I gotta tell you, I keep finding videos from you that I never knew about. I just saw the one for antler skeletons with Loctite foam. Fascinating stuff. I'm in that
Awesome.
one.
You are in that one. Yes.
Super Toria says, nice, I was way off. Thought it was a pumpkin on its side. Dark Nook says, garlic monster, stinky.
Hi.
Masato says, anyone in here seen the Mothman? Choji says, do you think any Norse figures would make a good mask?
Yes. Draugr would make excellent masks. I have a werewolf. I'd love to do a Fenris style mask. I haven't done like a Raven mask in a long time. I wouldn't mind doing a Hunan and Munin.
Yeah.
What's the name of the squirrel that chews on the roots of Yggdrasil?
Oh, I don't know.
I would not mind doing a badass Norse squirrel. What does that entail? Even I am not sure. But I think I could make that
so
cool.
this is spelled Ratatasker?
Yeah. Ratasker.
Ratasker.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes. Boy, who knew that?
Choji and Crazy A-Hole with a Hammer.
Nice. Good job, guys. That's a fairly obscure reference.
1980 says the demon onion that makes people cry. Joanne Crowley says right now it's looking like an alien worm. Taylor Payne says, hey Alan, the lady behind the camera and your wife, next time you're in Orlando, hit me up, let's do lunch, my treat. It would be an honor.
Hooray, that's very nice of you.
For sure. Crazy A-Hole with a Hammer says, it solves my dilemma of making hands for a deer monster project. Loctite. Ezekiel says, face first into that pie, no fork required.
It is pretty good pie.
Ruggedly Handsome says, will these shoulder pieces work on the Hawkman costume you're going to make in the future? Link.
Well, if you wanted big beefy arms, then yes, these are massive arms. Alexa, what time is it? Wait,
I think 56.
It's 8:56 p.m.
Alexa, how much time is left on my countdown?
You've got 13 minutes left on your 2 hour and 30-minute timer.
In 13 minutes, I pour out the bicep that I poured up earlier.
Hey. Poison Sumic says, world serpent in the background.
Yeah, you're a monger. Yordamonger.
Alright, this is going to be another tough one to pronounce. Choji says, though, Nidhogg is the one who gnaws, Niddhogg.
Oh, Nidhogg is the rat on the, yeah, Ratatasker guards it, and Nidhogg, the rat creature, is what eats the roots. That's right.
Limelight Dim says, Nuckalabi? Nuck.
A Nuckalevi is an Irish fey creature that, if I recall correctly, if I'm wrong, tell me, it looks like a centaur with no skin, which is fascinating as far as looks go. You know, you see his raw muscles. Nuckalevi.
Warmonger says, my keto ass can't have pie, so hurry and finish that and quit torturing me.
Sorry.
Masato says, I'm just about finished with all my skellies. I'll post a video when they're all set up. Choji says, Ratatasker delivers insults from the eagle to Nidhogg.
Yeah, okay.
Crazy A-hole with a hammer says, I also had the idea of using an actual deer skull for that. Your thoughts?
I mean, as long as it's clean, I mean, I think you're all right. They're not that heavy. I would take out as much as you can, like crunch out that sinus cavity and up underneath the bottom of the skull to keep weight down. Are you going to put it on top of your own head? Because if you do that, I certainly would give yourself some support.
Taylor Payne says, have you considered a full-size evil mermaid statue? Yes.
Well, yes. And one of the things that I'm going to do is a mermaid tail that's kind of already attached to a rock so that we can do some of them for Dark Hour. Because Dark Hour is doing an undersea theme down the road.
Crazy Ace all the hammer says, it's Ratatosker. There's an O. Sorry.
Ratatosker.
Nicholas Minter says, surprisingly, it's hard finding horror makeup people here in Philadelphia. Nidhogg is the serpent.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, Yormonger is the serpent. Yormonger is the world serpent.
Nidhogg is a dragon sort of thing.
Okay. Isn't there a rat too?
1980 says, if you're in Texas and your date says, let's go to the 1015 Onion Festival, she's a keeper.
Hooray.
Body Geek says, are you making latex body parts or are you going to silicone?
I'm not going to make just body parts. These are just latex.
Patrick Redding says, I'm back.
Hello, we missed you.
Welcome back.
Quit talking about him. He's back.
Limelight Dim says, it's a Celtic demon, skinless centaur, but full horse, and the human portion is protruding from the back. It's gnarly.
Yeah. Yeah, like a centaur. Yeah, pretty nice.
John C. says, 1970s Snitch version, Oscar the Rat. Scott Colehart says, hello everybody, sorry I'm late. Welcome back, Stacy.
What's up, Scott?
Choji says, I'm screaming in my head from lack of being able to actually talk this out.
Well, yeah, I mean, pronunciation is a little crazy.
That's true. Crazy Hill the Hammer says, well, at the moment it's basically a head on some kind of post. Rebar, maybe? Along with a rib cage, cheesecloth, etc. Still tinkering. Is this the deer monster?
Cool.
Poor Hive says, this really does look like a giant clove of garlic. Maybe you could make a mask of a garlic-headed monster that hunts vampires.
Well, it does look like a giant clove of garlic. Yeah. Nah, it's fine. All right, but now I do some blendy. I'm gonna wetty. Pretty even. I like that.
Vampires aren't really scared of garlic. They're just scared of this one guy who's like garlic-headed
Yeah.
and is aggressively hunting vampires. Ite Maledicti says, I would be garlic for Halloween, not even fitting. Oh.
I don't know why.
1980 says, a garlic vampire that is allergic to itself. Scott Colhart says, so what type of duck are we making tonight?
A duck shoulder.
Crazy A-hole with a hammer says that would be a true curse.
Now we have smooth.
Get it smooth. Rodney Pope says, hello everyone.
What's up, Rodney?
Madam Satan says, garlic duck. This equals says garlic duck. And now we're hungry.
Was that duck with 40 cloves of garlic? That's a dish.
Limelight Jim says it's like being allergic to air. Yeah, if you were a vampire made out of garlic, allergic to yourself. Supertoria says quank quank. 1980 says, will you be putting a pearl in that ham sculpt?
No. You know what though? I might be able to turn this into like an Audrey 2 as well.
Nice. Moon Girl says, you ever been a Wendigo?
1 or 2, yes ma'am. I make a lot of monsters, like a ridiculous amount of monsters.
Kind of a lot.
I've had conversations with people who I thought made a lot of monsters, and they were like, no, you make a lot of things.
Craig says, good evening, folks.
Good evening.
Warmonger says, I can still hear pie eating.
Good evening. I bid you welcome. And to feeding of your home
Blah, blah, blah.
leave behind some of the happiness you bring.
Crazy A-Hill says, remember kids, quack kills.
Right.
Reptile Cosplay says, instead of got any grapes, should we got any garlic? I feel like this could be some sort of like an inside joke with a t-shirt. Oh, we have so many inside jokes with t-shirts. Oh, Taylor Payne says, all right, gotta run. Thank you for responding. Look forward to hearing from your email response.
Cool, thank you.
Stay kick-ass, Alan. Ken Zarish says, giant eyeball.
Yeah, I can see an optic nerve happening right there. That's true.
Nicholas Bittner says, Alan, favorite East cartoon besides He-Man?
Silverhawks. Or Jace and the Wheeled Warriors. Not a lot of folks remember that one. Wheeled Warriors! It sounded like Dawkins sang it. Man, that was a good cartoon soundtrack.
Oh, 1980. Some people know when to show up, and some know when to go.
You got to know when to hold up, know when to fold up, know when to walk away, know when to run.
Joshua Kane says, you try more creative things than most makers who are set in their ways.
I am not set in my ways, and that's also a downfall because sometimes it doesn't always go swimmingly. Sometimes I just should have done it the way that worked, and not try something new every single time.
It's Juice says, hey kids, I gotta get it. I'll catch up tomorrow.
Alrighty.
Supertoria says, okay, love you, bye.
Okay, bye.
1980 says, fly to the navigator. Now you can't unsee it.
Flight of an alligator.
Scott Colhart says, is that Nessie in the background?
In a manner of speaking, that is the Anaconda from Home Depot, which they still have plenty of. Many people say it is $80. I remember spending $40 on it, but yes.
Horror Beauty says the Monster Mind would be cool to do a version of for that.
Yeah. They were all plant-based monsters, and I thought they were really cool. And they grew these giant vines.
Limelight Jen says, so I missed the beginning of the stream. I understand it's a shoulder piece. Is it a muscle structure?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's muscles. It's muscles.
Horror Hive says, have any of you heard of the Inhumanoids cartoon from the 80s? That one has some
Inhumanoids, yes.
interesting monsters in it.
With Medlar, Decompose, and Tendril. It was very loosely Lovecraftian based. And monsters had kind of broken out of the inside of the earth. Cartoon and everything.
John C. says, it's an anaconda, but the centerpiece is backwards. Oh, that Alan.
Wait. No, the centerpiece is going the right way.
That's what I was looking at.
It's going the correct way. Its scales are going the right way.
Bella. Oh, you're so wet, girl.
Because I actually did that earlier. I'm like, man, they made the scales going the wrong way. Oh, I could just spin it around. I did that earlier.
Horror Beauty says, 80s was the best time for monster cartoons.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them about.
They would give anything a cartoon. Captain Lou Albano had a children's cartoon. Like that's the dumbest thing ever. That doesn't make any. He didn't even like kids. Sergeant Slaughter had his own cartoon. Terrible idea.
Horror Hive says agreed. Janie, what are you snarfing?
He wants to steal my pie
Of course he does.
out of the garbaggio, my pie plate. Yeah, they steal a paper plate, man. They think it's like game on. This is Christmas.
Oh yeah.
This plate has residue. It's the best.
Nicholas Bentner says Hulk Hogan cartoon. 1980 says weirdest cartoon, Turbo Teen.
Where he turns into a car.
Yes, I remember that one. Warmonger
Yep.
says, why are the dogs always wet?
I have a pool, and they enjoy the pool. That's why they're always wet. They'll go jump in the pool. It is fun for them.
Crazy A-hole says, I never cared for Scooby-Doo at all. There, I said it.
Me neither. I don't like Scooby-Doo. When I was a kid, I was so mad at Scooby-Doo because every monster was fake. I'm like, no, that's not how this works. You need to have real monsters on your show.
John C. says, send it back if the scales are going the wrong way. I'm on my third one. Tubwork says, Nick, even Kiss had a cartoon. Victor Sleeps.
Kiss did have a cartoon for a while.
Celestia says, Biker Mice from Mars.
Cheney, is that yours?
Oh, he did steal it out of the trash. Oh, that stinker. And now he's going to hide it from me.
Then I get close, he just drops it.
He's like, oh God, I'm sorry.
I'm busted.
Victor Sleep says, adding pores or texture to the shoulder.
Yes, yeah, I'm actually breaking up any texture that's still there after all the raking that I've done to it. And now I'm brushing that texture out because that acted kind of like a rake. And then once I finish brushing that texture out, I will dash on some new texture with just a big 2-inch chip brush.
Choji asks, how did you even get into this sort of thing in the first place?
When I worked at a year-round haunted house in Orlando called Terror on Church Street, I helped unpack masks for the gift shop. So I love masks. And I would try on every single mask that came in to Terror on Church Street. And a lot of stuff from Don Post, a lot of stuff from Be Something Studios, a lot of stuff from Distortions. And they looked great, but you couldn't see and you couldn't breathe. And I knew if I was gonna, seriously act in haunted houses, then I needed to make my own mask so that I could see and breathe.
Rodney Pope says, so glad to see you back, Stacey. Thank you. Glad to be back.
You know what? You should tell a story
I will tell a story.
for a moment.
I will tell a story. Limelight Dim says, Scooby-Doo had real monsters eventually.
It did, but
Yeah.
after I had given up on that.
Ezekiel says kisses on Scooby-Doo too. Okay, so as you may know, the haunted house that is our primary home during the Halloween season is Dark Hour Haunted House, and they are not open this season because of the COVID. And Alexa, stop. Remind him when he gets back that he needs to dump out his bicep piece. Anyway, so instead of doing Dark Hour for our haunted house thing this season, Rue Newman, who's been in the comments, and I are doing a haunted tour of Dallas. Basically, we're going to be in Reunion Tower as with a cast of ghostly storytellers who are going to be telling ghost stories from all around the city about all the haunted places and things in the city of Dallas. And so if you're unfamiliar with Dallas, Reunion Tower on the Dallas skyline is the ball on a stick, and it has a rotating floor that spins around. There is no longer a restaurant in there, so they reached out to us and said, hey, why don't you guys come and put on a show? And initially they wanted to do a haunted house, and we're like, I don't think that's going to work the way you want it to. And so Alan pitched the idea of doing a haunted, like a ghost tour of Dallas, basically. And so we're still working on a couple of things left to write for that, but we've mostly got scripts to everybody. So we're going to have a cherry-picked, basically, who are incredible actors and are going to be presenting these stories. So it's Haunted Tall Tales at Reunion Tower, I believe is the official name, and I believe tickets are live for that right now. We're doing them in like 15-minute increments, trying to stay really aware of our space constraints and stuff. Everybody's going to have their own section, their own pod that their group will be in, and we're encouraging people to all come together with their COVID bubble, their quarantine bubble, they've seen during the course of all of this, and everybody feels safe breathing each other's air. and we'll get to spin them around Dallas and show them all the cool nighttime scenes and get to tell them a whole bunch of spooky stories and whatnot. So I think that's going to be fun. This would be a good date night. Yes, it would be a terrific date night. But yeah. So what is the website? I will post another link into the Still These Live Creepers group, but you can also just go to Reunion Tower's website. I think that you maybe should Google it. But they should have some more info on the tickets and everything like that. I think it's going to be a pretty incredible show. We are working on getting walls built and stuff, and got some fun decor that's going to be happening there. I think it's going to be neat. So, you guys want to see what we're making this for? I don't know if he wants me to show this or not, but it's in the shop, so we're gonna share it. Oh nope, just kidding, he's back. I was gonna show him our tore up one, but I didn't know if you wanted to show him that or not.
No,
so.
go ahead. I mean, for what it went through, man, it's
yeah,
it's alive.
It is technically still alive. Let's see. We had some wear on the
movement joints.
Yeah, the movement joints. I guess we didn't anticipate this was going to be like a horror movie character. It was going to be like a walk around and say hi to people character. As it turns out, they're reminding you that it's time to dump out that mold.
Did the timer go off?
It did.
Okay. Let me set up this beverage, and then we will.
I like your new arm on here.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
nice.
snake.
Got that snake. Alright, let's scroll back and catch up because, Ezekiel says, Ruby, Ghoulies, and Milton the Monster were great cartoons. Gregory Haynes asked, hey, Alan, do you average one tube of Loctite at $3.75 per canvas section for the graveyard statues?
2 tubes. I averaged 2 tubes. Because 1 tube did about half.
Philip Earl says, the newer Scooby-Doo has real monsters. Must have heard your critique. John C. talking about the dogs. They're half Springer Spaniel and they love water. Bella the girl is always wet.
Yes.
1980 says, most expensive kid show in the 1980s? Captain Power. Finn Godwolf says, oh, come on, Alan. Wasn't Scrappy Doo your favorite cartoon character?
Who is that? Someone ban them.
That was Finn Godwolf.
Block them for 5 minutes.
Do not.
Put them in timeout.
Do not. John C. says, who made the roof gargoyle for Terror on Church Street?
That was from Mark Klein Productions.
Philip Earl asks, Alan, were you the guy with the room full of masks at home?
What?
Were you the guy with the room full of masks at home, like growing up?
No, I was poor. No. I had 4 or 5 when I worked at Terror on Church Street and Skull Kingdom or so. But then I started making my own. Then, I had more. I'd make one for me, and to justify that, I would sell 3 or 4 of them. Kind of how I got started.
Horror Hive says, if you want real monsters in Scooby-Doo, check out the animated movie Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. Nicholas Bittner says, wow, it's almost there as far as looking like the action figure shoulders. Crazy A-Hole says,
That's a
yeah,
hope.
China. Reptile Cosplay says, sanitarium in Louisville, Kentucky. We're all acting out nurses and doctors and different characters that were actual people when the building was open. That's cool.
That's cool.
Good night, Ken Sarge.
Good night, Ken.
William Rothmeyer says, what was the first thing that you tried to make?
There is no try. There's do or do not. The first thing that I remember making was an animation for a haunted house when I was 11, and it was a motor out of an animated reindeer, and I made this scary rat, because the bat was when polymer clay was new, like it just came out. And I made a scary rat with all of these little rat babies, and I had them coming out of a torso, so they were all like, that was their nest. And I made a camshaft underneath, so all these little rat babies would pop up and move in a torso.
Joe Reese says, what's your favorite vampire look in a movie? Mine is what Steve Johnson did in Fright Night, the different makeup look and vampire.
I would say 30 Days of Night. I was pretty happy with those.
Reptile Cosplay says, reuse the monster suit for the turtle.
That's quite possible. Which one did I pour up first? Bicep or bicep?
Jason Harris says, made it late, but never better than never.
Hey, Jason, good to have you, sir.
Bill Burl says, Coke Zero. Thank you, Shannon Hops, for sharing the Reunion Tower event.
Shannon Hobbs, that girl's hot.
Bloody FX Makeup says, you're still alive?
This is what I do. It's what I do. Yeah. Of course I'm still alive. Who do you think I am?
Crazy A-Hole says, is there a mask that you found that you truly hated?
Yes. 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 Be Something Studios has a mask they call the Ultimate Werewolf. And it has sparse hair over it. It's a big mask. It's kind of expensive. It has sparse hair over it. And the back of the head looks like testicles. And whenever someone would wear it, the people who are standing in line at the haunt, it always got called the ballsack monster. Like every single time. Because the back of its head looked like it had this sparse gray hair. It was like old man nuts. And it was, yes. So I think it's called the Ultimate Werewolf by Zago Studios.
Lemon Lime Wolf says, look up that werewolf mask.
Look at the back of its head.
Zico says, I gotta go find folks. I have visitors coming today and I need to find a pecan pie. Have a great night.
Oops.
Philip Earl says, Alan, I understand about growing up poor, though I didn't know just how poor we were.
Yeah, that's the bonus. That was a nice even splash of latex. Luckily it didn't, it went everywhere, but not enough like there's a big enough puddle to worry about.
There you go. For the final design of your reptile character from He-Man, are you going for a more real look or a living action figure look?
It's going to be a mix, honestly. So I'm not going for, but probably a little closer to real. I don't want them to look like they're plastic, so let's say real.
Ezekiel says, old man nuts, oh no.
Yeah, it's a great mask if you want to be called ballsack all night. Glad I caught that bucket.
Limelight Jim said, Paul Bennett said, oh no. Philip Earl said, ah, crap, slush.
Well, that's only a little.
Paul Bennett says, it'll peel off the floor.
Yeah. I'll make more steaks.
Rue Newman says, promote a new project.
Who?
Rue?
What should I promote?
I don't know. Philip Earl says, the evil Scrotius head monster.
Lord.
Says, I'm triggered, I have old man nuts.
Who said that?
Warmonger.
Oh.
Did it get you? Oh yeah, it did. Woof! Oh god! You left the camera in the other room. I can't even tell them the joke.
Right. That's why I said it here.
Bloody FX Makeup says, I want to paint one of your blanks, but I also have to do so many other things.
That happens. I understand life's responsibilities.
Horror Hive says, Be Something Studios, now known as Zagoni Studios, tend to usually go for the more comedic look in their masks.
You know what? But they make great werewolves. They make great werewolves, and normally the eyes are the actor's eyes, and that's why I really like their stuff. You can see well out of them, and you can normally breathe pretty well.
Rue says, yay, new project. Horror Beauty says, buffering, no. Bloody FX says, you set off my AOXA.
Sorry.
Reynolds asked, what is that?
This is a chess piece. I'll show it to you in a second.
1980 says, white sticky stain.
Oh yeah, and I did a good one too. Looks like I had an accident. Not like a you cut yourself accident, but happens to lots of guys your age accident. Okay. All right, so now I got most of the powder off of this. Oh, you guys are not far enough away.
Not reading that 1980.
So that goes down there, and this is a chest piece. Da-da-da-da. Yeah.
I think Rue may be behind. Are you lagging, Rue?
Brew has the Plano internets. No, he has the Amarillo internets. Or wherever he's from. That place he lives. And does things.
Yeah, I think you may be behind, Rue. I said Shannon posted the link a minute ago. Horror Hive says, looking good. Reptile Cosplay says, we'll probably use a Zagon skull mask for my Scorpion cosplay, fitted with lights and a vape to look like I'm breathing fire.
Yes.
Spook Shack's SPFX says, looking cool. Philip Earl says, good looking chest piece. Masato Case says, it's like a 24 pack.
Well, that's all the scales, yeah. Okay. Would you bring me some T-pins?
I will. Mahant Dermot says, what is this for?
This is for a costume, much like the one I'm putting it on right now. See how bad do? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, this will tuck up nicely under here. The
Oh, I said, what
shoulder-
costume is that chest piece for? Sorry.
The shoulder should live over this. Yeah, we're all right. Yeah.
What costume is the chest piece for?
This is for a gator monster guy.
Warmonger says, Alan trying on that chest piece was like Silas the Lambs. 1980 says, oh, that chest piece with a reptile paint Heptaron mask.
Yeah.
Masato says, looks mega awesome. Dark Nook says, is the chest piece to scale?
Oh.
Oh, Finn Godwolf says, I noticed the other evening when you were painting the chest piece with latex, you applied it to the border top rim first. Is there a particular reason you did it that way?
Just so I did the same thing every time so that I would not miss a spot.
Ike Camacho says, please don't do the Buffalo Bill tuck.
No, not my style.
1980 says, Godzilla.
Oh, it's a little Godzilla-y, yes. Hand me those nippers out of there, please.
These-
Yes. Thank you very much.
No problem. Lex says, I just started in the mask community. I'm already recognizing mass-produced masks by name and company, left and right, in my everyday life. I can only imagine what your head is like going to a haunting.
Yeah. Yeah. Just finishing this edge, because this will be a visual edge. They're going to see these edges.
1980 says, pretty much any Power Ranger monster.
Yeah. That would have been a fun crew. Like, okay, we need a monster in like 3 days. I'm on it.
Yep.
What's it got to look like? We don't care. Okay. Great. It's a meatball this time. It's a monster meatball.
Corey Beatty says, zombie snail. This is kind of what that's looking like a little bit. Celeste Kitty says, what kind of Loctite is that on the table?
A white Loctite window and door.
William Rothmeyer said so. How'd it feel to have abs?
No, I had abs once.
Lonnie FX says, what latex do you use if you don't mind sharing?
No, I don't mind. I share everything. So, way too much. Normally I use Bitty Mold Supply, but I also like Black Lagoon's latex.
Lemon Lime the Wolf says, what do you think there? Oh, what if you think there is? Would you say is the difference between a werewolf and a lycanthrope?
Okay, so I don't use the word lycanthrope. A lycanthrope is someone who has lycanthropy, which means that they believe that they turn into a wolf. I say the difference between a werewolf and a wolfman. And the difference between a werewolf and a wolfman is that a werewolf has the long snout. They're still bipedal. They might be quadrupedal, but they're mostly bipedal. Long snout, taller than a man, much taller than a man. That is a werewolf. If you look at The Howling, if you look at Bad Moon, those are werewolves. If you look at the movie Cursed, those are werewolves. Wolfmen they're the ones who are actually cursed. A person bit by a werewolf will become a wolf man. But a person who makes a deal with the devil or whoever in order to become a werewolf will be a werewolf. They enjoy it, they love it, they are that because they want to. A wolf man is actually cursed, and they are the ones who seek out killing people that they love. Like they're drawn to people that they love to kill.
Dun, dun, dun. Poor Beauty asks, what is the mop and blow for?
I just like it. It helps smooth out the clay, and it like its texture on the clay.
1980 says they had a meatball spaghetti monster in Power Rangers.
They did, yes. What even kidding?
Reptile Cosplay says you should start a food helmet line.
No, last thing I need to do business.
Realm says looks like a bowl of garlic. Crazy A-hole says, when I go to haunts, I'm always too distracted by how everything is made and structured. I'm too busy being inspired to be scared.
That's not true. There's not trying the right way.
Oh, we had a Jones sighting?
Did Jones come through?
I didn't see. Also, I don't have the video up, so. Hello, Raj. Where you at? The dogs are all in here, though, right now, so maybe that was it. Hey. What are you doing
Are you
Masada
going home?
says, would you consider a four-legged werewolf a dire wolf?
See, now a dire wolf is that was a thing. That was a thing from history. So a four-legged werewolf is normally it's a werewolf, I would say. Like American Werewolf in London, I'd say that was a werewolf. Alexa, stop. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm working on this bottom edge because this is a visible edge. This is going to be seen. So I'm making sure that it's clean. So I have a little tool that has a little hook on it that will work that edge. See, I'm working in profile. So that profile is going to have that shape.
Crazy Angel says, do you think the curse could be spread by parasites, like were-fleas or were-mosquitoes?
I don't think so. I think it has to be transferred through a bite. I don't even like scratches. I think it's got to be through a bite.
Robert White says, starting to enjoy the cooler weather. Should be about 42 tonight.
Wow.
John sees his horse is looking for a clay snack.
Yeah.
Very well maybe. Thank you, Scott Colbart, for the Black Lagoon and Brick in the Yard latex links.
Thank you.
Poor Beauty says, thought I heard Jones. Yeah, I think that may have just been the dog's tag jingles. 1980 says, okay, there's a legit Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Who knew? I knew.
Yeah.
I have several friends who are ordained ministers in the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. You have to do all of your ordained ministry stuff in pirate outfits. Actually, my best friend Farrah, John, who is in our D&D game, he is ordained as our friend Brian, and Brian married John Farrah in a pastafarian ceremony. Dark Duck says, direwolf is a real megafauna, like Mastodon.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. They existed. They were a thing.
Carrie Ann Olsen says, hi, what's up?
Not much, homie.
Dylan Robbins says, good evening all. Victor Sleep says, once you apply the mopping glue, are you able to reuse the clay for another project later, or is the clay a one-time use only?
No, just put the little wax in the clay. Monster clay is mostly wax, so it doesn't really hurt anything.
Masato says, people wanted to wear a colander on their heads for their state ID picture. The only way to wear it was for religious reasons, so they created a religion. I don't think that's actually the reason that it was created, but that is one of the perks. You can wear a colander in your driver's license picture, if you want.
I always, so when I went to the DMV to get my driver's license picture taken, I made the Carl face. From the moment I got there, and I held it the whole
Oh
time.
my god.
Because that was the only way they would let me make the Carl face
In
in my photo. So for 3 hours, Carl was hanging out at the DMV.
Show them the Carl face.
And I don't even know if I could do it like without
That being Carl.
just really wide eyes. Yeah, like that.
Carrie Ann Olsen says, what, is it too taboo to be a plague doctor this year?
I don't think so.
JTA Haunt says, hello everyone.
Hello.
James Whittle says, may you be touched by his noodly appendage. Ramen. Nicholas Binder says, will this have a strap in the armpit?
I don't know. I'm not worried about how to hold it on until I have to hold it on. So I got to figure out how to hold it on, if that makes any sense.
JTA says, by the way, what are you planning to do with that huge...
I don't know. I bought it because I wanted it. It looked cool. It was a good deal, so I bought it, and now I got to figure out something for it. My wife has taken a liking to it, so maybe it'll end up here at the house in a garden tucked away somewhere. We have a lovely monster garden in between the shop and the house, or it may end up with a home in my monster museum if I turn it into a baby sea serpent.
Crazy A-hole says, to be fair though, why would the werewolf stop at a bite? I would think they'd devour you to a skeleton, unless, of course, they do that, and then skin and hair forms around your undead bones. to bring you
No,
back
I
to
mean,
life.
that's why there's not that many wolfmen running around. It's not like a giant plague. If they kill you, then it's, then you're dead. But if they don't kill you, yeah.
Rue Newman says, oh my, yeah, my feed was way behind. Yeah, I was kind of thinking that was what it was.
Sorry, Rue.
Lindsay Holman says, I was just watching last night's live and saw that you were live now. You were talking about Monster Squad. Loved that movie as a kid. What do you think of the Waxworks movies?
I love Waxwork, the first one. Second one was, of course, but the werewolf in the Waxwork was one of my favorite werewolves also. Probably the top 10 werewolf, maybe top 5.
Crazy A-hole says, I guarantee the Plague Doctor will be the #1 costume this year. Rue says, Snake Mountain.
Yeah. From the big snake back there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Snake Mountain's probably going to happen.
E.T. Maledicti says, I have so many things like that. I like this thing, and now it just sits around.
Well, I can't do that too much. I don't want to. I don't feel like I'm a collector of things. I have some things, but I'm not a super collector. Normally, I'm a maker, and then I will sell that thing.
Madam Satan says, I'm reusing my Plague Doctor window silhouettes from last year. Who knew he'd be so topical?
Yeah, topical, like an ointment.
Lindsay Holman says, yes, me too, in regards to the Waxworks movies.
Yeah, wonderful werewolf.
1980 says, good reference for a He-Man type costume. Watched the behind the scenes of the He-Man and Skeletor commercials from a few years ago. They attached a lot of the pieces with Velcro, I believe. I actually am going to have to go look that up because A, I really enjoyed those commercials, and B, I didn't know they released behind the scenes footage from those
My
commercials.
buddy Stuart did the application.
What? No way!
Yeah, my friend Stuart.
That's awesome. Crazy A-hole says, I've been walking around in full Plague Doctor regalia since the big rumney started. The whole mask mandate thing pisses me the hell off, but I might as well have fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my friend Gwyd, every day he posts a picture of one of his new fun masks. He's like, remember, it's not just that you have to wear a mask, it's that you get to
It
wear
is
a
that you
mask.
get to wear a mask. Like there are mask makers who are upset about the whole mask mandate.
They're like, are you
Everybody
kidding me?
has to wear a mask? Okay, yeah, great.
Like, you know,
I feel validated.
you can walk into a bank now with a mask.
And they kick you out for not having one.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What a world. What a world.
Bloody FX Makeup says, Black Lagoon and Brick in the Yard cost the same. Which would you choose?
It depends on the mask that you're doing, in all honesty, because Black Lagoon is a thicker latex. Black Lagoon is out of California, and Bitty Mold Supply is out of Texas. So I would also do the one that has the least amount of shipping.
Celeste Kitty says, I need to get some dry ice so I can show you guys my Plague Doctor Rabbit statue I made for garden statues.
That requires dry ice.
Apparently. Schmooky.
Sorry about the nausea.
Thank you, 1980, for the link. He sent me the making of video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bald guy applying, that's
Yeah.
my buddy Stuart.
That's awesome. I'm excited to watch that. Speaking of that garden statue, I'm gonna have to make a garden statue, I think, because I told you my brother bought a house and it came with a statue that he was obliged to dress up.
Yeah.
That statue apparently was willed to someone, so the statue is now gone, but the neighborhood really wants something there. And his wife, or his soon-to-be wife, was very excited about the idea of making tiny costumes for this thing. So I was like, well, maybe she needs a raven statue. And then there was a conversation about whether or not you sculpt wings out or wings in to dress said raven. And I was like, maybe it needs removable wings so that you can dress it easier. And they were like, yeah, you should make that. Crazy Angel said, yeah, I tried to walk into a bank with a full head mask without taking it off first. Didn't think that one through. Dead End Yardman's here. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Sleepy dogs.
Yeah, so I'm just adding a little bit more detail in here to keep it from looking the way that it was looking.
Bloody Effect says, honestly, it looks like Ariel and the mermaid Jacob.
Okay.
We'll be repurposing these for seashells for me
You
personally.
see what you see, I guess. I want to go with the Jacobs. Probably should have said that out loud.
I didn't say nothing.
No, man, the way it is now, that's going to affect my search history and ads.
Yeah.
It's going to affect my ads.
Crazy April says, well, that was something I didn't expect to hear tonight.
All right, so that's going to be a little smoother.
Bloody Effects. Sorry, guys. We blame you entirely. Good night, Patrick Redding.
Good night.
Ben Godwolf says, Black Lagoon runs deals on free shipping. If you don't need the latex right away, wait and check their website around the holidays. It will save you a large amount of money.
But they may not be able to ship if it's freezing. If it's freezing in between you and them, they can't ship. Because if latex freezes, it's ruined. So that's also something to think about. Yeah, this is really not any different than using water. It just has a little more body.
Nicholas Spencer says, have you seen that people who use realistic silicone masks to rob places? They usually use the old man or African American masks. Crazy stuff.
Yep, I've gotten 2 calls from the FBI about that.
Really?
Yep.
Dang.
Well, because, they hop online and said, I need a mask expert. And
And as it
turns out I'm the guy.
Google
So
mask expert.
so I have gotten phone calls from the FBI about bank robberies. They're like, okay, who makes this mask? I'm like, well, I believe this mask is the Elder, and it's made by this company. Yeah.
Bloody FX says, I live in Los Angeles, no freezing worries.
Cool. Okay, so you're actually right near Black Lagoon. That's who I go with. And if their stuff is too thick for your liking, it is very creamy, then just thin it and consider that you've got free latex.
Explorer Hive says, yes, one was known as the Geezer Bandit.
Yep.
Celeste Kitty says, hubby says he likes your Joe Dirt Space Peanut sculpt.
Hooray. Thanks.
John C says, Black Lagoon has some things on Amazon.
Okay.
Fancy.
My buddy Alden works there.
Nice.
Okay, this guy is so close. A bit of a divot on this side that I don't have on the other side. Curse my completism. Ish.
JTA Hunt says, I've been getting tons of ads for hyper-realistic masks on Facebook. I have a feeling more than half are scams. Yeah.
78.9%.
Seriously.
They're all scams. It's all. If a hyper-realistic mask is less than $500, it's a scam.
Shape Killer Studios says, hey, hello everyone watching. I'm currently working on a Halloween Resurrection mask overhaul. Always cool seeing you sports.
Awesome.
Crazy A-Hole says, that's screwed up. Guy robs a bank with a mask. FBI better question the manufacturer.
Yeah. Well, how many do they sell? That's a $800 to $1,000 mask. They're not going to sell, thousands of them. So yeah, start with the manufacturer. That's not a mass-produced product. Someone has to punch all that hair, but they don't know until they ask a mask expert. And if the guy was not the brightest in the world, then you can maybe narrow it down to all the customers in the state.
Horror Hive says, it actually makes tracking down the perp easier.
Yeah.
He says, okay, look at the He-Man costume. It was glued together.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess it depends on which version of Beast Man you're going with. But like the big one you've got up there, he's got shoulder pauldrons already, so that'll hide some.
He's got a piece that goes right here.
Yeah.
And he's got hair on him. So.
Oh yeah.
But mostly for I'm doing a lot of this work for the other ones, and this is going to have airbrush scales on for the gator, so.
Crazy Hill says, I see, this makes sense. Tutwork says, okay, I have to ask, what is an ox on a moon?
Tutwork says, an ox on the moon? What is an ox on the moon?
Yeah, what does it mean?
Okay, so for the longest time in my head, every time someone said your name, Tutwork Studios, I thought of King Tut, the 14-year-old boy pharaoh of Egypt. And then one night you explained you were a girl, and I said, oh, then I will think of an ox on the moon from the Mummy movies, not the new one with Tom Cruise, but the one with Brandon Fraser. The female that the priest falls in love with is an ox on the moon, who was, I think, the wife of the pharaoh, or the girl of the pharaoh.
Good night, Jerry Collins.
That is an ox on the moon.
Limelight Dim says, yeah, they're not necessarily trying to blame the manufacturer. Celeste Kitty says, people get found out by shoe prints and tire tracks. Mask would be easier.
Yeah.
Crazy Adel says, yeah, that makes a lot of sense now that I think about it. John C says there are $160 masks, which are copies of the $600 ones.
But they're nowhere near. They won't fool anybody in public.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Dark Knight says, I read about a guy who robbed a bank with a super realistic mask. Cops had no idea. They actually arrested a guy who looked like the mask. The real robber got caught because his wife found the mask.
Yeah.
1980 says, my local Goodwill is selling full head masks. Ew.
They should. Yes. And you know what? A lot of mask collectors go to Goodwills this time of year because some of those are 80s and 90s masks. And there's some collector gems out there. All right, kids, I think we're ready to go. That is El Sholdero.
Crazy A-hole says, I should make a habit of doing the whole thinking anymore.
Ah, it's overrated.
Finn Godwolf says, I saw a review on YouTube about one of those inexpensive silicone masks from China. For the price, it was actually fairly well done. It had hair punched as well. 59 Mary C says, hi all.
But they are not using their own photos.
Yeah.
They use Immortals photos or CFX's photos.
Nicholas Bentner says, on to the wolf.
I do have to mold this. So molding this is next. What?
Do you need to get it lifted?
No.
Carve yourself
I
up.
got him up high enough where I can mold right on this. I do need to cut him a free.
Underneath this to the right here, there's like a gash.
There is a little bit of one.
That might show.
Yep. I feast.
I think.
Okay. Once again, it's ready to mold. That took way longer than I thought it would.
Crazy Angel says, out of every prop you ever made, what would you say was the most difficult?
I don't know. I don't remember. Like I don't remember that. I don't remember bad stuff. I don't remember difficulties. Like really, like I don't.
California?
It wasn't difficult. It was just a pain. And it was a higher standard quality of work than I'm used to working under.
Dark Nook says, just finished laying hair on my beta/alpha whisperer's mask.
Cool.
Next lady says, yeah, if anyone's searching for an Anakin Phantom Menace mask, I got no evidence. Look pretty well. 59 Mary C says, I've been binge watching your tutorials. Love the wings.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like those.
Shade Killer Studios says, next year I'd like to do my own version of a monster camp for my community here in Michigan.
Okay, cool.
Horror Hive says, do you remember a significant prop fail? Like something you made that broke afterwards? Tragically. Does the broken window count?
Which broken window?
The Minotaur? Or something fell out of the window?
Oh, that was a fail, but that was in the building process. When it was done, it was great. There's very few things you can't just work on until they're better. Very few. No, I can't think of one. I can't think of one.
Kenneth Booth says, hey, just saw you was on live, but I had to get my bourbon and chat.
Hello. Oh, it is 10 o'clock, isn't it?
Yeah. Good night, Misty Pizarski. 59 Mary C says, I haven't been this inspired in years. Just going to Home Depot for phone tomorrow.
Wow, awesome. You're definitely making some things.
Get on the things.
Got to clean before I do a quick mold on this guy. I'm going to transfer this to a round board.
Don't keep these lattes. What brand of lattes do you use? Thanks. Maybe latex?
Latex, yes. Either Black Lagoon Supply or Biddy Mold Supply.
I myself am a strong pumpkin spice girl.
Right.
Dark Nook says, I made a demon mask but messed up and made part of the mold way too thin. The whole thing broke right in half, right down the middle.
Have I ever broken? No, haven't broken a mold in years.
This is what I was able to glue it back together and patch it. Didn't even have a seam.
Nice. Now, why didn't I sculpt on this board in the first place? That's a great question.
Reasons, because you just had the arm on this one.
Because I am unsmirched.
Kenneth Booth says, what did I miss about fence post training?
I use it in a couple of my videos for things. Yeah, I like that a little bit around. Okay.
Thank you, Scott Colehart, for the links for latex, Black Lagoon Supply, and Virgin Yard.
Do me a favor.
I will.
Spin that while I stand back here and look at it.
Everybody gets some quality man white.
It's good. Okay.
Hey.
Yeah, it's good enough.
Close enough for Kevin to work.
It's not just good, it's good enough.
Crazy A-hole says, would like to say your bat tutorial so you can make an entire cave of them.
Awesome.
Some that were resting with their wings folded, so there's no extra definition. They're just flat.
Yeah, and a lot of times that's what you need. You need that visual impression. Have 2 or 3 great ones up front, and then fill the ranks, you know?
I think they work as silhouettes.
Yeah.
Darkneck says, super embarrassing to make such a rookie mistake this far into my career, but being able to perfectly fix it, being happy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm trying to think of something we've done that was like epic fail. And it usually hasn't been anything.
I don't do a lot of that. And that's not said out of arrogance. It's that I'm not going to give up. I don't even give up on broken people. You know, why would I give up on a broken prop? No.
Ben Godwolf says, Alan has certainly inspired me. I haven't done any sculpting or mask making in more than 20 years. Thanks to Alan, I'm back into making stuff.
That's so awesome.
Tell him what you do.
This is Pledge furniture polish. This is going to be a barrier in between the clay and the plaster. So this, the crux of this clay was in the forearm sculpt, and then I re-sculpted that into the bicep sculpt, and then I made it into this. So this is the 3rd time I've used this particular hunk of clay that's come out of the mold so clean every time.
1980 says, Flight of the Navigator is good to go.
Flight of the Navigator. I remember that movie.
Pat Slim says, not sure if I'm way too tired or just being dense, but how does that shoulder actually work? What part at neck and what part on arm?
Okay. This part up here goes to your neck, right there, and then this that slides down here like that, that fits in between the bicep and the tricep on the arm. So this fits right here on the arm.
Crazy A-Hill says, I don't even give up on broken people. I like that.
Yeah, no, why would you give up on a prop? A prop has made poor choices.
Mike Camacho says, thumbs up.
Hooray! Yeah, you want to watch me quit something? You know, watch me start a marathon. That's not going to happen. I'm too fat for that.
Kenneth Booth says, I'm using the foam to make the rock formations for my Pirate's Cove with purple and blue lights and the foam incorporating a mini fog in the water pool and cannon.
Awesome! I bet that's going to look awesome.
That's what it says, thank you. Tell him for how the shoulder works.
Yeah. Okay.
I know.
Jerk!
Not even sorry. That also is as much of the girl from Ipanema that I know.
So I'm not even like a music guy, but I watched like a full 30-minute background on why the girl from Ipanema is
It's
such
so
a weird
weird,
song.
yeah.
Yeah, I watched that whole video.
I shared it with Amber. I was like, you know, she's big into music theory and stuff, and I was like, this is so in depth and crazy. I love it.
I don't know why it was suggested to me, or why I was able to see it to click it, but
It's possible that even just having a couple of people who are close friends with you, who you interact with on social media and on YouTube,
yeah.
may have bumped it up into your feed.
All you missed me doing was getting water.
Warm water says, "Need camera close, or I feel like a pervert peeking through a window."
Hooray! That feeling is free.
Tugworks says, live shows, you have to be ready for almost anything. That's true.
My knock's on the moon! And he says her name a lot while he's being eaten by bugs.
That's true. Kenneth Booth says, as soon as I have it beautiful, I'll shoot a bid for you.
Hooray!
And to the creek or screw.
Or no.
Because we don't want to see it.
Chasing them.
That's true. Such murdering I do all the time. relentless murder. Or he says 153 creepers creeping on you.
Wow. Hi, everybody.
Wow.
I should have put on pants. On a long and lonesome highway, east of Omaha. Listen to the engine there out from the song. Think about the one. Know you move
Really, will your thoughts soon be wandering the way they always do?
Always. My thoughts consistently wander. Every time. I should mix this first before I shove the brush in there.
That's crazy talk, Alan.
This will be a nice open mold though, so it'll cure pretty fast.
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh, what?
I thought I forgot to pour those out.
You did not?
They're draining.
Yes.
Did you make sure the fan's not on? I don't want the bucket of latex to... Great. I don't want the bucket of latex to skin over.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Over and over, crimson and clover. First time someone played that song for me, I thought their record player was broken
Yeah, yeah.
because of all that vibrato in there.
Dark Nook says, my mom told me when I was a baby she'd play Bob Seger's live album and I would crawl over and turn up the volume and flop down in front of the speaker. Because Bob Seger is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
Leonard Cook says, did you ever find the knife you were looking for last night?
Yes.
Crazy A-Hole says, question, does anyone know if a sound system will automatically play a CD when the timer comes on and loop it at the end without needing to press any buttons? Need a better one for the display.
You can set that up with a Raspberry Pi, but that's not just going to be like a regular player. And also, I would go to like a Lepley amplifier, that you could put an SD card in, put an SD card in with your music selection, because that Lepley amplifier will kick on as soon as you give it power. And they're only about $35 on Amazon.
1980 says, tonight's highlights, old man balls, splatters, garlic vampires.
All depends on what you're into.
Cat Swift, in all caps. Stacy's not lifting molds, is she?
Oh no.
Nope. Nope. Being good.
She was making sure the fan was turned off,
Yep.
which is a light switch.
Yep.
Actually, it's a push button. It's
The
not
push
even a light
button,
switch. There's no lifting. It's all pushing.
Masada says she better not. No, I'm being good, y'all. More or less.
Like a bad bra. No lifting. All pushing.
Yeah. Scott Maloney says, hello, quick question. I tried making hands out of Loctite using your vid. Realized I have zero ability to sculpt hands. LOL. Any suggestions?
Yes. Trace your hand on a piece of paper. All right. And then put a layer of cling wrap over that. And then just spray down where your hand is.
Tape it down to the table. Do
Yeah.
some paper.
Yeah, tape it to the table, yes. And just trace your hand. And look at pictures of hands while you're doing it, you know.
Also, if you're making skeleton hands with it, go through and mark where your knuckles are at. And have that bit, draw a line through it so it sticks out on the sides of your outline. That way you can see where you need to make your pinches in between.
Or get a rubber glove like this, mist it full of water, mist it with water, all the fingers, everything, and then fill this with Loctite foam. And then squeeze it down to where you want it. You can band-aid off, you can rubber band off this end if you want.
Network says, for not being a music guy, you know a lot of songs. Right brain we are, art, music.
Yeah, I don't know all the words to all those songs, but I know some of them.
Cat Swift says, all my mom buttons got pushed.
There's a song that is by Bob Seger, and here's all I know of it. I'm a whole lot older, I'm a little bit older, and a whole lot bolder than I used to be. Sweet 16 has turned 31.
Oh, baby, rock and roll.
Oh, rock and roll never forgets. Yeah, okay. But I've been singing that for months, and I don't know what the rest of it is. Like, that was all I had. That was all that was in my song tank.
Scott Mahoney says righteous. Very cool. Thank you. Nice.
My song tank was on E.
Steven Scott says painting hands and feet. I have a toe with. I don't know.
Have a tough time with.
Sure.
Let's put words in his mouth.
I like it. John C says, oh wait, sorry, cat. Like Camacho says, you think playing Yanni in my haunted house will scare people?
It'll make them think you don't know how to run a haunted house. Which then it's easier to scare them. So possibly.
Celeste Kitty says, yeah, spray foam the glove, but mark on the outside where every knuckle will be and bend it with a marker first.
And or squoze.
Squoze.
You can just squoze it from the outside.
Nicholas Bender says, I've seen Bob Seger 3 times. Mind you, I'm only 27. He's my dad's favorite artist. Great every time.
Wow, awesome.
That is awesome.
I don't like concerts because they're so very loud. But I've seen Poison in concert like 8 or 9 times because they were my sister's favorite. And her friends were hot.
The King says, no way. Haha, I made it to one of his live clips.
Hello.
It's YouTube Wednesday.
It is. Well, I think it's only
It's Monday. But
Monday. Monday. Don't get excited. I feel late now.
Ken Boo says, Poison rocks.
I'm live on most nights. I'm not live on Tuesdays because I'm getting ready to make a YouTube Wednesday. And then I'm not live on Thursdays so I can have a little bit of time to relax. Sometimes, I'm live about half on the Thursdays, let's be honest.
Did I tell you that Ken Boo says Poison rocks?
Yes, Poison rocks. Sometimes you gotta cry tough out on the street wanting to make your dreams happen. That was a Poison song. You're probably too young to know.
My musical knowledge has a weird gap in it because my dad is like 73 and was really into like classic rock and classic folk and stuff like that. But all of the like hair metal stuff he was not into at all.
Yeah.
So
You're like me with grunge.
So
Like,
I'm
grunge
much
does not
older.
exist.
Much older, and then mine picks up around grunge, like, and there's a big gap, you know. Realm says, I'm sorry to ask this, but I was offline for a while and I can't remember what it is.
How dare you, Realms?
But then he didn't ask what it was, so I don't.
Yeah, you gotta ask, Realms.
The King says, I'm a huge fan, by the way. Thanks for the shout out, though. I make haunted houses, so I learned from Mr. Beast.
Hey, awesome. I'm glad you make haunts.
No, Mr. Beast is my father. You can just call me that. Mr. Beast.
I don't know. Mr. Beast sounds kind of
Mr.
cool. I mean,
Beast.
as far as nicknames go, like that one doesn't suck.
Yeah. Horror Hive says, we saw Rush in concert about 10 times. Sadly, those days be in the past forever. And my very first concert was Peter, Paul, and Mary. It was like 5.
You are such a nerd.
I think I stayed up to hear Puff the Magic Dragon and then I fell asleep.
What you're saying is you got your first contact high at 5.
Yes.
So just okay. Yeah.
My second concert was the Moody Blues at 12. And because they came on my birthday, I was very excited. Al Matra says, love seeing the continuing villains from Masters of the Universe Sculpts. Still planning on giving Man of Faces a go.
I do. And I you know what? That's one that I find myself, I'll just sit there and I'll think about, and I know, I have a good idea of how I want to do his head.
And then the King says, I call him Mr. Beast out of respect.
Would you get me more water
I know.
and point the camera over here?
Can you see you?
I have a Dutch tilt, but I see.
The Dutch tilt.
There we go. That's good.
Stay. Four. King says, I call him Mr. Beast out of respect. Ike Camacho says, what's your favorite horror film? Or your best horror film?
I really like Pumpkinhead. I really like Nightbreed. I really like the Krampus movie that came out a little while ago. I really like Trick or Treat.
Oh, me too.
I like The Howling.
Steven Scott says, last concert I've seen was Ginger. Kenneth Lee says, Rush is my absolute favorite go-to for writing, crafting, drinking, and gaming. I did find, however, you listen to the wall, this guy falls right along with it. Realm says, sorry, I feel like I missed so much. What is the sculpture?
It is a shoulder. It's a shoulder. It's a part of a shoulder.
Spookjack says, what about Rawhead Rex?
I like Rawhead Rex. Not a great movie, but a good story.
Crazy A-hole with a hammer says, I'm looking for that amplifier. I need the name again, please.
Lepley. Lepley or Ly?
Richard Gavigan Jr. says, we just cauldron out of chicken wire, paper mache, and black flex seal. Turned out pretty good. Now we're thinking about a bunch of other day props.
Sweet.
Good night, Scott Colehart.
Good night, Scott.
Tetler says, I'm a beast, I'm a beast. Oh, the beast is back. Stone Cold Soda, as a matter of fact.
Show that.
Yada-da, yada-da. I blame Shannon for that. The King says, question, what inspired you to do Halloween props?
I did my first haunted house when I was 10, and I decided it would be my career, and I was right. And when you do haunted houses for a living, you kind of start making some props.
Dead End Yarn Hunt says, I was telling Matthew Mungle and Mike McCracken about Loctite foam Multical 30, and they thought it was nuts.
Dude, it's awesome.
Nicholas Bittner says, thanks, Alan, and take a few minutes to listen to Rock and Roll Never Forgets.
Yeah. I'll have to listen to that now, too.
Right? Horror Hive says, hamster dance? Now that's scary.
Crab rave. You got to YouTube the crab rave.
Shape Killer Studio says, do you think it'd be possible to make my own versions of vintage Halloween blow mold light up decorations at home, if you remember them?
Of course. It's possible. It's not easy. It may be expensive. And they won't be plastic. I would make them out of fiberglass.
Ike Camacho says, are you doing the haunted house with all that's going on?
I am making things for other haunted houses. My haunted house will not be open.
King says, I wish I could show you what I do, Mr. Beast, so you can give me an opinion or a respectful judgment.
Well, hop on. Are you on Facebook? If you're on Facebook, there is a group that we have. There's the Stilt Beast Live Creepers. And you can hop on there. And because it's a Facebook group, you can post pictures. And that's why we started it, so that we could see what you're working on.
Join us.
And that's I do. I try to hop on and give feedback and talk about things, and yeah.
See if I can drop this. Sure.
It is the Stilt Beast Live Creepers. Stilt Beast Live Creepers.
I'm about to drop a link into the YouTubes. Just to know.
All right, and I see Horror Beauty talking about Crab Rave. So Crab Rave is a video on YouTube that is roughly 3 minutes long. However, anytime that I need my computer to not go into sleep mode, I play the 10-hour version of Crab Rave. So I have come back from wherever I was, and there's a bunch of crabs having a rave on the beach in the house. And all the dogs and cats are outside because they're sick of Crab Rave.
All right. For everybody who just sent their requests in for the Facebook group, the answers to the questions that you're watching the live feed are: he tests it with his hand,
I do test the heat gun with my hand.
and the sign off is.
Go make stuff.
So answer those questions, and I'll let you into the group.
If you don't answer those questions,
I will not let
it'll be more difficult.
Finn Godwell says, "Did you ever find time to make the shrimp for the fishy delishy desk?"
No, I did not.
Danny says, "Crabs from a rave happens."
You had way more fun at raves than I ever did. Again, never wanted kids. Scared. I think the first action a child takes when it comes out of the womb is it strangles your dreams. Like little Hercules and the snakes.
The king says, haha, yes, the hand.
These are the tiniest little pieces of burlap, but they're left over in my drawer, and if I don't use them, then I didn't use them.
Horrorheim says, crab rave sounds like a rare disease.
Yes.
Celeste Kitty says, the drum and baby shark on a 10-hour loop, or the Rainbow Factory on a 10-hour loop. Nothing better than Cannibal My Little Ponies. What about it?
I don't get any of those references.
You sure are lucky.
Cannibal Little Ponies?
Yep. Who's the thing?
Okay, I think maybe 1 or 2 more coats and this mold will be done. And then I can finally move on to the werewolf.
Reptile Cosplay says you should sculpt a crab from Crab Rave.
No, I don't have time for that.
Is that the one with they have the one big arm in there?
Then they're dancing. They're
Yeah.
doing crab stuff. They all come out on the beach.
Horrorhive says there's a baby shark cereal now. Why? It's not
Because
like a
someone
cereal.
wants money.
He'll make a cereal out of anything.
I used
And-
gremlin cereal.
The primary motivator of cute children's cereal stuff is so that a child who is interested in this thing will see it in the grocery store and go, Mom, we have to have it! And then they scream until it ends. And
Yes.
John C. says, when eating they are my little bonies.
That was kind of funny.
Next day he says, fish heads, roly fish heads. Eat them up, yum.
Yeah. This is no messing around. I'm making a mold in a hurry.
Quick and dirty.
I don't think this mold is going to take 45 minutes.
Lazy Hill says, and now I want cereal. Leonard Cook says, do you still have the first mask ever made? If so, what was it?
No. And I don't have to answer the second part because you made them contingent. If you had said, what was it? Then I would say it was Bigfoot, actually. The first mask that I sculpted and molded was Bigfoot. I made other masks other ways before then, but as far as sculpting and molding, it was Bigfoot in 1995.
Kane says, I like the live videos. When he edits his videos with little comments under subtitles, I'd be laughing. I like the sense of humor. He roasts himself. Great YouTuber.
Well, dude, man, understand that the editing process takes hours and hours, so I gotta amuse myself somehow. And I see all the stupid crap that I did that I didn't see while I was making the video.
Scott Mahoney says, have you ever accidentally tasted the plaster?
Yes.
No comment.
That's way more frequent than you might think.
59 Mary C says, Leonard, he sells his stuff, not a collector.
Yeah, so I don't really keep stuff. And if I do keep it, I keep until it dies. The only mask that I have actually of mine that I made like in the house is the one that I was wearing when I met my wife.
Oh.
Because she kept it. I'm like, this mask is dead, I can't wear it anymore. She's like, I'm gonna keep that.
That's adorable. King says, that's so me. No lie. Props to you, my man.
I'm just going through and I'm crushing any lumps. Normally I wait. I don't feel like waiting.
No reason. Energy drink mad says, hello here from the UK, Newcastle. I've been searching for Halloween DIY lately. Guess like most people here.
Hooray!
Welcome, Energy Drink Man.
Did you find my channel already? Or is this your first experience, this live video? Because there's a lot more than just mask making and shoulder making.
The King says, Mr. Beast, have you ever considered to come to Los Angeles, California?
I've actually been out there for a couple of the shows that they have. I've been out there for Scare LA and I've been out there for Midsummer Scream. So I do go to those shows when I can.
59 Mary C says, maybe he will show you his 1.5 shelves of collectibles. Very cool.
Just action figures mostly. And some pops, thanks to John C.
Leonard Cook says, that would be awesome. Let's just see your show. I'll have to be a wife video to show that mask.
Oh, yeah.
Brenda Miller says, I'm sure you've had to answer many times before, but where does stilt beast come from?
Well, when I first started, I'm like, well, what do I do that's different from everybody else? I am a beast on stilts. I am a beast on stilts. That was my gig. That's what I did a lot. I was a stilt monster. So that is where stilt beast comes from.
King says, I hope to meet you one day. You seem like a great person. But the DIY of the silicones from Home Depot are so useful. Thanks for the life hacks.
Awesome. Glad you find them helpful.
Brenda Miller says, love it.
Currently, I'm very chemically committed, so I can't do much but work on this mold.
Kim Godwolf says, unrelated question. Why do some people have to say smash the like button on YouTube? It shouldn't be better terms like click or select the like button? Just wondering.
Well, it's not our computer, it's your computer. We don't care if you break it.
Nicholas Bentner says, how many layers is this game?
I think it's on 3 now, right? I'm gonna say 3. I feel like it's gonna be done after this.
Energy Drink Man says, found your channel by watching the Graveyard Statue 2020 video just a couple minutes ago.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah, I have just over 400 videos. Maybe it's 450 videos on YouTube. Making most of them are DIY or they are live videos of me making things.
Samantha Surovec says, do you scrape your countertops daily? Yesterday you had paint on it, and it must build up over time.
Yes, I do tend to scrape them pretty often. I don't know if you just noticed, but I did clean this countertop right before I started the mold a little bit. Not all the way, but you have to stay on top of it or else it gets crazy. Like you might think my shop is a mess and I clean every day. If I didn't clean every day, you would really think my shop was a mess. And you'll also see me just throw things on the ground all the time. That's because I sweep a lot. I have found it's faster.
The King says, so I was working on expansion foam yesterday, got some on my hands and I started thinking about you. Haha, wear gloves. But I realized why you do your funny comments.
Yep.
Nicholas Binder says, I always have issues with burlap. I think I think my plaster too thin.
What kind of burlap are you using? That could be another part of it. I use the garden variety burlap, which has a real thick weave on it.
John C. says, the tables get taller every year. If you never sweep the floor, you don't notice.
That's right. Probably one of the first things I'll do is a foam full of this so that I can make more molds. Because if I'm doing 10 Masters characters, then I'll need 20 pulls from this mold. Not a ton of detail, so it's not like it's a big order, but...
Or if you says, it's hard to find gloves though. I thought Alan Cody has a hard time finding them now.
I do. You know what? It's actually easier for me though because I wear XL gloves, and a lot of hospitals were given a bunch of gloves, and nurses don't wear XL gloves. They got tiny hands, so gloves XLs just sit there.
And Kim Godwell says, yeah, if you get that expensive on your clothing, forget it. The King says, can we take a look at other masks that you're working on after you're done with the plaster mold?
Yeah, we're gonna work. Whoa. Okay, you know what? I got a low battery warning.
Retro.
Grab me that other charger.
I got you covered. with
I got it. I'm clear now. And then charge this one, please.
I will.
That was simple. I don't have a cord right now, so I'm cordless. I'm just out there in the world without a cord. And that's kind of nice. This is latex. That's uncomfortable.
Realm says, I'm looking for something that's nowhere to be found. It's the Spirit Halloween 2016 Howling Werewolf.
Well, I don't know. Good luck.
Celeste Kitty says, if you were to make a Sam costume, how would you make his outfit? The head is easy. How would you make his bag look bulky but be light?
I would use upholstery foam. I would just, beef it up with upholstery foam. Throw a few of these in here.
Den in Yard says, there's a lot of people on here.
There is a lot of people on here. and some are new.
Nicholas Bender says, got a couple giant rolls from the hardware store. It usually ends up a stringy mess in my molds.
I cut into pieces about this big normally, and there, squeeze on. It's a pretty fast process, really. All right, this mold has to cure. I feel good about it.
Crazy A-hole says, I wear extra small gloves. Finally seems to be a challenge. Everything I find just ends up being a ball of fabric hanging out of my fingers.
Yeah. Here are some masks we pulled today.
The game says, was it Kowalski analysis on the battery? Seems to be draining, sir. Charger now.
Yes. Yeah, the battery was going. So here's a cat mask that may be getting flocked purple in the future
Hey!
for some reason.
You can have a jaggedy ear. Fine with that.
Well, we'll just patch it. Yeah, it'll look just like the other ear. This is an insect for an order that came in. This is a grave digger. Grave digger mask.
Mike Murphy asked, are you going to let us watch how you transform the 12-foot skeleton?
Sure. I don't like hide a lot.
That's Spook Shack, so it's just a quick grin and a quick pull and a little lost hair and you're all set.
I used hand lotion with lanolin, and there's no hair loss. It's already out. Ding. Okay.
Your pants on the other hand.
Yeah, pants are scrubbed. Gibbering Malthor mask. Eye hole, eye hole. Another insect. Another insect. This is my Oranguterror mask. This one Rob trimmed within an inch of its life, so
It's
I'll
quite
have
small.
to use it for something. I don't know why he just trimmed the whole neck off of it.
Go on a sock mask, I guess.
Yeah. And there's a werewolf we're going to be working on over here in a minute. I showed you the turtle earlier. This is a frost giant. And most of these masks I'll be painting on Wednesday night. On Wednesday's live feed. As a reward to myself, I do something fun on Wednesdays. So, yeah.
Horror Hive says, the only thing we bought at Spirit Halloween this year is a bag of caterpillars.
Caterpillar.
Celeste Kitty says, nice looking kitty.
Oh, yes.
That's going to be Panther. The King says, I'm honestly geeking out right now as you're showing your mask. Sadly, can't afford things like those.
It's all good. But you could probably afford a blank for $30 and then paint it yourself.
Jason Agostini says, Alan, we need some evil Thundercats.
I did a Mumra. You saw a Mumra. And I'm not going to do evil Thundercats. I would do Monkeyan, Vulture Man, and Slithe. Those are the 3 mutants from the Thundercats. And maybe like the bad lion with the eye patch. I forget his name.
Finn Godwin says, I can't wait for my turtle mask. Can you also show some of your masks near your stairs in the other room?
Yes. Yes, I can.
Careful, your internet doesn't stretch all the way.
Oh, to the stairs it
to
will.
the other side of the shop.
It doesn't do good in the booth building. Yeah, so I make some things. Some of these things I haven't made, but most of these I have. So, here's one of Chad Smith's Wolfman masks that I'm going to do up eventually. Rodney Pope's skull that I will do up eventually. Here is a goblin mask that I made. It's got a little dust on it, but he'll probably get turned into an elf for a Christmas show. LED Krampus. Here is a beast mode mask. This is probably the first mask that'll get those arms, aside from the gator that I'm working on. This is my Beastman sculpture. So this will be for my costume, Beastman. And boy, there's just a lot of masks in here. There's a bunch.
The King says the mask with the horns, the big one, that is lovely. Tears of joy.
Okay, yes.
Jason Agostini says, God, it almost looks like Tom Savini's house.
And this is a werewolf chest that we finished up today. It's a chest, and it's actually got the pants in there with it too, and sleeves and all that. So this is ready to go on a werewolf costume. It is in here because my wife's about to ship it out. Yeah.
Horror Beauty says the one with the yellow eye is cool.
Stinkor! That's Stinkor.
Oh, that was mine.
Yeah. This is waiting also to get those same arms because Stinkor has the same arms.
Ben Godwolf says, man, that werewolf costume rocks.
Thanks. Yeah, and that's a fun suit because it could be a Krampus. If we don't put a latex chest in it, then it's a Krampus, or it is a werewolf, or it could be Bigfoot. And we have that same hair suit in a lot of colors.
Joanne Crowley says that monkey mask at Oxford would be a good ogre. Celeste Katie says, ooh, you guys remember a movie where two boys grew up learning how to hypnotize people by watching the cat clock, and they ended up killing people and feeding them to a goddess with a giant mouse?
No, but now I want to watch that movie.
Right?
Find out the name right now.
Ruggedly Handsome said, I thought you were insane for sculpting that Gibbering Mauler mask because I just knew it would be a tremendous pain to get a good pull out of. Not the first time I've been wrong.
And you know what? Rob did that. He did that pour. And there's one tooth with an air bubble in it. That's it. And a lot of times we put limits in the brain of what a material can and cannot do without trying or testing the limits. And even worse if you just accept that, it's not going to work without even testing it yourself. This sculpture that I sculpted on here, that's a real tough texture to sculpt for this turtle mask. So I had to invent a technique where I whipped the clay with dish soap, and the whipped clay went on with stiff peaks and then dried. So, yeah.
JLR asks, are the masks at the store made by hand or machines? First look back.
They're mass produced, so they're probably made the same way, but the person who paints it doesn't care. I mean, that's their job. The person who makes the sculpt normally doesn't care that much on the mass-produced masks. So it's a mix, but mostly they're made by hand. There's really not a great process machine-wise to make latex masks.
Dead Yard said, in regards to your stairs, a lot of Harbor Freight clients.
Yes. Yes, yes.
Warmonger says, so Alan's a collector of masks, a temporary collector.
Yes, only until I finish them and send them on their way. And I really only have that many because I canceled. All the stuff that I was going to take to the show and sell, I hung on to. And just there's not as many sales. So that happens.
Jason Agostini says, Beastman is killer. Celeste said, the one to the left with the hair on the wall would be a good Abe from Abe's Odyssey.
I don't know which one that was.
The King asks, are you able to do a Freddy Krueger mask or is that copyright?
I don't want to. And I say that in the nicest possible way. There are so many good Freddy Krueger masks out there, I don't need to add one to the pile. Are you looking for a good one? I can hook you up with somebody. There's no point in me having to make one. I would rather make things like Whiplash from Masters of the Universe, because there's just not a mask out there for that. And I already have one customer who ordered one, and they're thrilled. Actually, I've sold 3 of those.
Really?
Yeah.
Whiplash?
Yes. And they ordered it, and they're thrilled. And, they're making themselves a Whiplash costume, and that warms my heart.
Regularly Handsome says, you're only limited by your theaters.
All right, so here is where I'm going to make a executive decision. I'm not going to finish the Werewolf tonight. The Werewolf, what's tomorrow? Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Tomorrow night, I know I'm supposed to be off because of YouTube Wednesday. I will go live and I will finish the werewolf. I think the hair work on the werewolf is going to take maybe an hour, hour and a half. I will go live tomorrow night and I will finish up the werewolf right about, you know what, I'll go live at 7 p.m. That way I have time to edit afterwards for YouTube Wednesday.
A quick note from Dark Nook, which I also wanted to second on this. He says, I worked for Ruby's. The artists in the design department cared. We worked to make really awesome stuff, but when it went to China or Mexico for mass production, quality declined by about half.
Yes, yeah, I mean, and that's part of it. There are companies who have them sculpted over here. There's companies that have them sculpted over there. It all depends.
Good night, Horror Hive.
Yeah, and I imagine it's a certain type of heartbreaking to know what you worked on is going to go over there and be mass produced in a not great way. It's got to be hard. But anyway, I'm calling it tonight. I'll finish the werewolf tomorrow. That is this werewolf here,
Who now has his hair.
who now has his hair on his head, and yet not on his head.
Good night.
Thank you. Okay, sneeze.
1980 says made an old sub thumbnail for the live.
And I'm going to take
Dark Nook says, yeah, that's why I quit.
the next 10 or 15 minutes to clean the clay out of this mold.
Oh, everybody thought you were signing off already.
No, not yet, not yet. I'm just not going to do the werewolf tonight. That was my plan, was to knock out this, but sculpting this took longer because it had to be so symmetrical, and it was an engineering thing I had to figure out. But this will be useful for like Ninja Turtle. I mean, there's so many things that this could be useful for. Like if I did a big Minotaur, his arms would work for that, his arms and chest and all. Yes.
The King says, was an honor, hope to get feedback on Facebook. And bless you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Lots of bless yous.
That was a El Sneezo.
Cat Swift says, just a heads up about tomorrow night, it will be the debate for those who are interested.
I don't think most care. Well, my audience, I don't think, really wants to watch the debate. They're just going to yell at the screen worse than a sports ball game.
Nicholas Bittner asked if he has his tongue.
What?
Nicholas Bittner asked about the werewolf. He has
There's
his
a tongue in there. It is not yet attached, but I did finish painting it. When you need a loop tool, you want to have the biggest loop tool around, you have to make your own.
That one needs badass MFer written on it, on the handle. Hand me my loop tool. Which one?
That's the one.
Custom Corpses says, hey Alan, I launched my website yesterday, but still fixing the bugs. Look up Custom Corpses.
I will.
Brandon Miller says, well, we're still here for the commentary.
Well, and here for cleaning out a mold. You'll love to watch molds get cleaned out, don't you?
Good night, Horror Beauty.
Good night, Horror Beauty.
Jason Agostini says, I'd rather watch Alan debate his werewolf.
Yeah, and I won't be on long. Again, I'm just going to finish up the werewolf. It'll probably just be me. I'm just going to knock it out.
Nicholas Bentner says, that is a huge loop tool. Masato K says, that's like a hula loop tool.
But I want to get this clay out.
Richard Gavin Jr. says, gotta say, watching your process is awesome. So many ideas bouncing around.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
The King says, do you know where I can get a good fit silicone mask at an affordable price like the ones that stick to your face?
No.
No.
Well, not affordable. There are some companies, look up O'Neill FX, O-N-I-E-L, O'Neill FX. And then MBPFX Studios is another one, MBPFX. And yeah, those guys are I'm not saying the cheapest bad, I'm like the most affordable of the silicone mask companies in my brain.
Harry Beastie says, just realized the time. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Yeah, it gets late quick.
Al Mantra Art says, this mold came together quickly.
I don't mess around. One piece mold. I'm the only one who worked on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Quick like ninja. Speaking of ninjas, Plastic Ninja says, hey everyone, sorry I'm late. Nice snake.
Thanks. Hello, Plastic Ninja. Yeah, you are a little late, sir.
Lottie FX says, no effing way, you're still alive.
This is what I do,
still,
man.
Still alive?
Like I'm working. You know, I work.
Custom Corpses says, holy Loopzilla. LOL, that's the name for it.
Loopzilla. That's a good name.
Loopzilla. James Minnick says, Alan, you should make an evil crab mask.
Oh, James. Yeah, these big open molds, they kind of need a big loop tool to get in here and get these clean.
Lottie FX Makeup says, will you be casting this tonight?
No, because I don't want to stay up 2 more hours. Now, I probably will stay up 2 more hours, but I have internet stuff to do. Because once I'm done here, I have to go and I'll be on my computer another hour and a half at least, answering YouTube comments, and this time of year, I get about 100 messages a day on Facebook with different questions about making stuff normally, or just general haunting questions or whatever. So that's about 4 hours of my day right now. It's just answering questions online.
William Mann asks, how much is it for the snake?
That big snake back there, you can buy yours from Home Depot. Home Depot Anaconda, $80 is what I hear. $80.
Plastic Ninja says, I've been missing the live streams, was out of town.
Yeah, that sucked. Hopefully you were doing something fun.
The King asks, what can I do to get into the industry like you did?
Start making stuff. Like, what part of the industry? The industry is huge, you know.
Show up.
If you find enough haunted houses that need napkins and you sell napkins with their names printed on it, you're in the haunted house industry. It all depends on what you want to do. What's your proclivity? What are you good at? What do you enjoy doing? And then you just start doing it.
Plastic Ninja says, I was doing housework for my grandparents.
Gotcha. Well, that's kind of fun. I like grandparents. I'm fresh out of grandparents. I don't have any grandparents.
Sam's.
Yeah.
My parents are grandparents. I don't know if that is the same.
No.
But there are grandparents in my life. They're not my grandparents.
Yeah, like I had to think. I'm like, yeah, I don't have any grandparents.
I have to tell you though, like both of my grandmothers were especially crafty and into artistic pursuits and whatnot. I think that both of them would be equal parts thrilled and horrified by what I am doing.
Yeah.
Currently. Like they would be so excited for me that I'm getting to make stuff and be creative and enjoy the work that I'm doing. They also be like, what are you doing? Like, why this? Masato says, I kind of want to do animatronics for haunts.
Well, then do animatronics for haunts. Start small. Honestly, the haunt world really has some holes in its $50 animatronic market. And I mean $50 to produce, $100 to sell. So the $100 animatronic market is full of holes. Now, what is a $100 animatronic? It's something that you put in a room that has motion and life. It gives motion to a room. It is not a corpsulator which shoots out at people. It is an animal in a cage that just moves and looks around. And that is easy to do. I mean, we're talking wiper motor animatronics. We're talking reindeer motor animatronics. Small things, and you have, you know, these 4 go in a lab scene. These, you know, these 2 would go in a living room. Those kinds of things, those small animatronics, because a lot of the makers, they start small like that, and then they think that they have to go big and compete with guys like Scare Factory and Gorgalore, when there's a giant hole in anything less than body sized. So you're talking $200 to $100 to $300 animatronics that you're talking $50,000 in sales at Transworld.
The King says, building / drawing what I want to make and doing my best to bring it to reality and just haunting. I don't know. I don't know what specifically.
Well, I would start by finding something specific that you're best at.
Plastic Winter says, I've just got the 2 grandparents. Sato says, cool, I'll definitely check that out. Even Arduinos are getting cheap to control servos.
Yeah, servo stuff, absolutely. It's not, don't think of the whole table with a disemboweled body. Think of a hand hooked up to electronics and kind of just moving a little bit. If that's $100, it goes in a set, that makes a scene, you know, and it's a good distraction for an actor.
Custom Corpses says, I don't know where you find the time to do everything you do on. My plan is to put your website link on my website to send people your way. I'm not going to live stream, I might do small video clips.
Well, cool, awesome. If you want to live stream, live stream. I don't have a market corner.
Masato says, I made like 6 animatronic birds for my haunted house.
You know what? The world wants animatronic birds.
Yeah, they do.
Yes. No, stop that right now.
I will not. Cat Swift says, Stacy, I had just the opposite. My grandparents were my teachers, my support, and the source for the fake world. My mom thought I was wasting time. I mean, like my maternal grandmother was a huge, I mean, just absolutely my biggest cheerleader, my hugest supporter. She taught me how to sew, and that directly landed me here. I think she would be thrilled with everything I'm making, but also she was fairly conservative, very Catholic, and would have been kind of horrified by the monsters and stuff. Camacho says, have you ever built a monster costume?
No, I haven't built any Masters of the Universe costumes yet. But I'm in the works. I have a Beastman sculpt, and I have a flocking gun.
Yeah.
So I can moss man the snot out of stuff.
Claudia FX says, I love designing concept art for original mazes, even sometimes IPs. If you have ever had any cool ideas for a maze, please DM me on Insta at Thrill Overload.
Who said that?
Claudia FX.
Okay. Cool. I do, I mean, that's my job, is I think about haunted house mazes, and mazes is very California. Normally we just say haunts.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, is he specifically meaning... Like,
Maze is a California term, and he said he was in California.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, they call haunted houses mazes there.
That's strange.
It's very local.
Dark Nick says, I got my first haunt job by showing up in full zombie makeup, talking to the owner and telling him I could do makeup prompts or act. Got hired because I could fix prompts.
There you go.
William Chillian says, what kind of paint can I use when painting a mask?
1/3 casting latex, the same stuff you made the mask with. 1/3 latex house paint from Home Depot. Interior matte. 1/3 distilled water. Normally I pour a little bit of the water out for my homies, so it's slightly less than 1/3.
Custom Corpses says, I just started in this business. I only have my one mask on there so far.
Well, make do.
Stevenson Metal says, my granddaughter wants me to live stream working on stuff for Halloween. We did it online, live. I would say a lot of fun. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is fun.
Brendan Miller says, why are you now gutting it? Is it so it doesn't crack?
No, I'm getting all the clay out so I can pour latex into this hole, and it will be a rubber shoulder piece. It'll be a latex shoulder piece. And this mold is clean. This is, behold, the power of pledge. This is why I use pledge to release that clay.
There you go.
I had 2 little advantages happening. One, when the plaster heats up, it puts a layer of steam in between the plaster and the clay, and that is a sweet time to pull the clay out. And 2, the pledge just helps you remove. I don't see a single air bubble in this mold.
That's what I
It is beautiful and clean, and I'm very happy with it.
Cat Swift says, we got this far before it was asked.
Yeah, we did. We didn't answer that once tonight. But you know what? It's a tough question, and it's something that you, if you are working on masks and you don't have someone telling you this kind of stuff, it's very frustrating, because you'll do a good paint job and it all cracks and flakes off because the mask stretches and the paint does not. You have to get paint that stretches.
King says, last year I had the opportunity to have a professional pyrotechnic come and see my work. And he works for Not Scary Farm in Universal Studios 6 Flags Big Mary.
Awesome.
It was awesome. He said, get me in, but I don't know if it's true. Too good to be true, honestly.
Go ask.
Yeah.
Contact him. If that's your next move and you're ready, I can call my buddy John, who works out at. He's used to work on staff at Knott's, and now he does freelance for them. But if you're ready to do the work, don't let someone stop you from doing the work, man. Go to it.
John C says, I thought you just wanted a fresh lemon scent.
That too.
Brenda Miller said, thank you. Dark said, after the owner saw me act, he had me training other actors on how to get good scares. How to set up distraction scares and get those really good jumps.
Cool. That's awesome.
Bloody FX says, I had no idea maze was a local term. I've spoken with hunters all around the U.S., but everyone has understood the term maze. That's so crazy.
Yes, it's very California. If they know you're California, and I hate to say this, but I can tell most people when they're from California are from California. It's kind of obvious, you know. Not in a negative way. It's just they have a way about them, and they eat a lot of avocados. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, California. The term mazes is very California. Universal Orlando doesn't call their haunts mazes. They call them haunted houses. They don't call them mazes. I wish that our whole country would do what the UK is doing and switch and call them scare attractions. Because the UK is so old, they have a lot of actual haunted houses. And that is, it's confusing. And I get it all the time now where I work at a haunted house. Oh, what kind of ghost haunts it? No, never mind. You know, it makes a lot more work. So, yeah.
Just not avocados.
Oh yeah, they love avocados.
Just two avocados are dope.
They eat avocados all the time. Yeah.
The king says, please do, send him over. One thing about me, I can do voice impressions.
Okay, great. Awesome.
Shoot him a message.
Yeah.
StillBeStudios@gmail.com.
All right, so I think that's it for the night. I want to thank, I don't know who did it right now. Who sent us the $2? That was Bloody Effects Makeup, wasn't it?
Maybe, yes.
Was that you who sent us $2 on Super Chat? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I will have a beverage from you.
Back. Just watched your Bucket Buddy video. You were seriously amazing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We're about to wrap up for the night. Thanks for hanging out with us. We had a full sculpt and mold and cleaned out, done. I probably could have poured it up. Those guys are draining. I've got to go back there and set them up with the fan. And Stacy, why don't you say goodnight?
Good night.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us. And if you get a chance, be nice to everybody. Before you make the choice to be mean, think about, is this a choice? And how big of a deal is it if I just don't say anything at all? And maybe that'll make that person nicer down the road. Anyway, you guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out. Good night. Go make stuff.
All right.